This is the One Piece podcast episode I fucking forgot.
Nice. I think it's 890 something.
It's 892 because I made the drive. Okay. One more time. This is the One Piece podcast, episode 892 for the week of November 10th, 2025. My name is Steve.
My name is Alex.
And my name is Josh. It hit great.
Whoa.
You could hear how wide my arms went when I said it.
A real ragtag skeleton crew for this episode. Everyone else is super busy.
Yeah. Did anybody else watch Skeleton Crew, by the way? Was it just me?
No.
I don't know what that is.
It was a Star Wars show with kids and Jude Law.
Did you like it?
It was okay. I thought it was like it was good enough that like this could have been its own IP and not a Star Wars thing, and it was different enough that it definitely could not. It didn't feel like a Star Wars.
Not
thing,
in 2025, my friend. And I'm saying 2025 again because I just want to reel it in. I just want to bask in the glory of getting the year right when I have to host.
There was a droid whose name was Smee because it was supposed to be like a nod to Peter Pan.
Oh, and then they were acquired by the Disney company, so now it's no longer legally actionable. Right. Yeah.
So today's podcast is
Jude
about
played a character named Captain Lightsaber because he had a lightsaber for a hand instead of a...
Sorry, Steve, go ahead.
Sorry, Steve.
How could I bring me? I don't know. Is there Nyan Nub? I don't know.
Is that a Star Wars character?
Well, Today's episode, we're going to be complaining about why Star Wars is woke now.
Oh, finally.
Finally.
It's a good week for woke.
Back on the menu.
Yeah, woke is back, baby.
Mm-hmm. But for today's episode, we're going to be talking about chapter 1165, Reverberations, and hopefully we'll get to some piece together. We're starting late. It's a small crew. I don't believe we have Sam for the anime recap tonight, so it's going to be the short episode. But I'm sure we'll have lots to talk about here. But we do have some news we want to cover. I would leave it to Alex to kind of introduce us to this. Well, I'll tee you up here, buddy. We have 2 cast announcements for the live action series for season 3. Alex, why don't you take it away?
Yeah. Big one, Cole Escola, who many may know from Search Party and their Tony Award-winning show on Broadway, Oh Mary, which I ended up seeing earlier this year. If you are in New York, go fucking see it. I think Jenna Maroney from 30 Rock is
Jane Krakowski, yeah.
Yeah, she's in the title role this time around, and that seems like just the best. Cole Escola, they will be playing Mr. Tu Bon Clay in season 3 of the One Piece live action series, which is probably the best casting they probably could have gotten for that role. And I'm really excited about it.
Can I ask you something real fast? Because because I was talking to Delaney about this 6 hours ago. What is Oh Mary? I know that they're playing Mary Todd Lincoln. And I don't know anything else about it, but all the gay people that I know, this is suddenly the number one thing, and I'm very lost, completely behind on this.
So the pitch for it really is they didn't do any research at all about Mary Todd Lincoln, and it's just a show about Mary Todd Lincoln. And it's fantastic. I don't even want to give away what like the actual thing is about because it's totally wild and totally worth seeing, and everybody should see it. It's so cracked out. It's totally unhinged, and it's absolutely fucking fabulous.
Yeah, Delaney was saying that. Yeah, Jane Krakowski, Jinx Monsoon are like people who have also done the role, and I'm like, they really knew their audience when they were casting.
Yes, Titus Burgess.
Yeah.
When I saw it, it was Betty Gilpin, and she was incredible. I wish I could have seen it with Cole, but I mean, everybody sort of embodies their energy when they're up on stage. Yeah, it's fantastic. Anybody who's in New York or close to New York should go see it, or just, hey, take a trip to New York and see some shows and see that.
Cool.
Fantastic. We have another casting announcement that came out a few days after that. The much speculated casting for Portuguese de Ace has been revealed. It's Zolo Mariduena. Who is known for, I guess, Blue Beetle, the DC Blue Beetle that came out
more
a few years ago.
for Miguel Diaz
in Cobra Kai. Yeah, a show I've never seen, but I've heard that he's quite good. He knows, like, he's really good at fighting.
I'm shocked you never watched that show.
Yeah, I mean, like, I don't know. I heard it was pretty good. At some point, I'll probably check it out because I liked the first Karate Kid a whole lot.
Mm-hmm.
And
you'll be reminded of it in this show.
Everybody sweeps the leg every 5 seconds.
my podcast co-hosts on Swim Fans say that it's like the most anime you can get from a live action television show. So
That's
sure,
great.
Yeah.
I haven't seen the last couple seasons. Sorry, not to get too much of my opinion, but I thought, like, I was kind of like, all right, let's wrap this up, but it just keeps going. But
yeah, I know that they eventually get Ralph Macchio on the show, and I'm like, well, this obviously was the,
spoilers, he's in the first episode.
I mean, he's not
right.
busy.
He's in it a lot. Ralph Macchio's not that busy.
He's too busy waxing off.
Spoilers, though, Hilary Swank has not shown up.
Oh, damn. I was going to yeah? She was too busy doing yellow. She was too busy being very forgettable in Yellow Jackets. Damn. I've got so many Yellow Jackets opinions that, like, everybody's people are like,
she won an Oscar.
People are still watching Yellow Jacket. She did win an Oscar. She got Gone Girl. No.
No, Gone Baby Gone.
No, not Gone Girl. Gone Baby Gone. No. Oh, My Baby. What's the $1 Million Baby?
$1 Million Baby.
Hot Water Burn Baby. That was the.
Was she not in Gone Baby Gone? Is that not her? I think.
Is that a movie?
Yeah, I think that's Hilary Swank. If that's not, don't correct me.
Okay.
Shake hand, kiss baby.
Anyway, very exciting cast announcements.
I think it's great.
I
think also, getting another Latino like actor, I think for Ace is good. Because I'm gonna fucking spoil this for whoever is tuning in the show. They're not actually blood brothers, but I kind of like the fact that you think that until you find, like, because everyone believed that they were related by blood till a certain arc. So I think that was really cool, and it seems he also gets along really well with Inaki. So
I think Inaki went to the set I don't know.
Yeah. There's pictures
or something,
and he's in a very Luffy colored karate gi. So, gotta love that brand synergy though with Netflix. So.
Oh yeah, no. Netflix. I mean, smart of them to get people from their own stable, but like I said, great get Cola Scola. I didn't I first saw them in Search Party, and their inaugural season made me really uncomfortable and made me not like the show, but that's because they did such a really good job playing a creepy stalker character.
People don't talk enough about Search Party, a show that is slowly melting in real time. It's incredible.
Also, it's not lost on me that his name is Zolo.
Yeah. Zolo, we better Golo.
Speaking of Goloing, we might as well get into the manga recap. You fellas ready?
You
bet.
And I'm talking about good Reverberations. This is the manga recap for chapter 1165, Reverberations. And wow, it's now a mouthful to say the chapter numbers, I gotta say.
1165, folks.
Yeah, 1165, I should say. But it's more impressive to say 1000. Just like it's the year 2025.
2025, folks.
Yeah. People still say 2025 sometimes. You hear it and it's like, no.
I think you just hear it on wedding invitations.
Oh yeah, no, that's true. Hear it with your eyes.
But on the cover page here, we have reader request, Beppo sleeping peacefully using Zeus as a pillow by Match and Takeshi. And Oda threw you a little bonus there. Law is there too. This is this a hoodie or a bomber jacket? It's hard to tell, but Law is sleeping on Beppo, and Beppo's got like cute little eyelash closed eyes here. Big snot bubble. Zeus has a big snot bubble too, and they're sitting on top of
a giant sheep.
This is an actual
Duke Duke something, right?
This is a character, you guys. Are you serious?
Yeah.
Yes. No, this is he can't be. Is his name Duke? Because there's Dukes.
I think he was he was like the former Duke of Zoe, right? He used to be the Duke.
No, because
Sheep Storm.
Oh God, there's multiples. Maybe there's. Well, I'm thinking of
Shipu Arashi.
I'm thinking of Yomo, and the character you're thinking of is no Yomo. It's what's his name here? Duke Genghis Bon is who you're thinking
Bon,
of.
yes.
Yeah.
Just be lying. I would have to say totally. Yeah, that's right.
Yo-Yo Ma. So I guess Law is the new My Pillow guy.
Yes.
Law doing his very best to never get a CPAP machine by sleeping with 3 pillows.
Yeah, Mike Londell. Yeah, absolutely.
But I really don't have anything else to really say about this one.
It's very cute.
Yes,
I would have never thought to pair Beppo and Zeus, but they're a cute combo. I'm glad they're there.
They're both white and fluffy,
and that's all it takes. And the sheep guy who's apparently in the story.
Yep, Yomo. His name is Yomo.
Yomi.
So we jump right into the action here, and I have not been on the show in a while, so this is weird for me to just take over here. But we see Zebek here, and he's having the worst day of his life, even though he's smiling. He's communicating telepathically to both Garp and Roger here. As he cries, he says, "Please." He's begging, and Garp's like, "Do you hear that?" And Roger says, "Yeah." And as Zebek here is taking a big swing, he pulls back. He's begging to be killed. As he brings out his blade, it's charged with, I think, demonic energy here, maybe some hockey too.
Extremely bad vibes. Yeah.
And Roger says his words, his attitude, his expression, as he blocks Zebek's sword attack, and Garp hops over, and as Roger continues, they're all telling different stories, as Garp hockeys up his fists, and a big cartoonish wham with the fist right into Zebek's schnoz here. A staple of One Piece at this point. I feel like we've seen a lot similar punch panels like so here. And Alex, what's happening on the next page?
So we see that we smash cut to Zebek's foot, showing that like it's sort of pushing him back a little bit, but he has managed to keep his footing. And then we kind of pull back away, and we see Garp's punch fully connect onto his schnoz. Oda really taking his time with this, with the action in this flashback, which I'm really appreciating. And we see that Roger's sword connecting with Zebek is about to get some pushback. Zebek hockeys up his fist and takes a huge swing as we see some lightning energy either conquers, probably I think it's conquerors hockey, reverberate from him as
Supreme
it pushes
yeah
and it pushes away both Roger and Garp's attacks. Garp and Roger both fly into into walls. There's some rubble. This is a really, really cool. This is excellent layout.
Thank you.
Really fun.
Yeah, these spreads are really nice.
Really fun panel layout. Like, yeah, if you look at this spread, it's just I don't know. This is the shit that you want to see when you're reading a comic.
It's not like a 1-to-1 because obviously the first tower at God Valley fell. But like I like that Garp and Roger represent like the two halves of that mountain, and Rocks is the split in the middle. So that parallel with the panel below it of the wide shot of the island, I thought was pretty cool. It feels intentional. If it's not, it's kind of beautiful how stuff like that works out sometimes.
Yeah. So we kind of pull back and we see the whole of God Valley, and we see all the naval ships that are sort of docked. They're getting rocked, and the waves are sort of also getting a little more turbulent. And we see the sky split, which is something that we've only seen a few times. The Whitebeard clashing with Shanks comes to mind, and I think Whitebeard clashing with Roger too in that flashback. And we sort of see the clouds sort of split. They sort of open as some slack-jawed naval officers look in terror.
And yeah, Josh, take it from here.
Yeah, I get the pages with the talking in it.
I realized I should have switched to you and Alex because I'm like, I don't know, anytime Shiki's on a page, and I'm like, oh damn, sorry, Alex.
Well, I know. I guess we're getting, and that's okay. We're alternating, right? We're going,
round robin.
Yeah, just to make it easy.
That is easy. I like that.
Yeah, I do. Before I go into this, just because the first panel on here is the sort of the sky split, echoing the split in God Valley, echoing this sort of climactic divide between people. I mean, I just think it's a beautiful visual metaphor. I don't know that One Piece is something that I usually think of when I think of potent visual metaphor, but I really think it's really lovely here. All of these sort of like visual motifs echoing each other. I think it's really nice, especially for how much of a moment the God Valley incident is in the story. Anyway. So, the sky has been rendered into one of the cliffs of God Valley has fallen. The onlookers can only guess what's happening. Why does the sky look like that? It's been split in half. We got to evacuate before we're all dead. This guy who's Shiki's counterpart, Kyo, is that the name?
I know, it's so
That's
funny.
his
I was
name.
looking him up again.
I learned it today. Great.
I always call him Silver Axe is what I always call him.
Silver Ass.
It's the Super Nintendo version of Golden Axe.
It's never. I was going to be like, is this a character? But yeah, whatever. Anyways,
he is apparently. He's somewhat important.
So he's like, let's steal the ship and get off this island. What? You mean Rox's ship? You really think he's coming back? And then Shiku, who's all ready to go do his stuff. This is the end of the Rox pirates. Hurry to the shore. People fleeing from sort of the center of God Valley here. And then we were sort of cutting to the Marines and Roger's crew. What did you say, Vice Admiral Garp? Once you've got every living resident and sailor on board, shove off and get out of here. And then cutting to Roger's crew. What's happening on the island, Roger? Once Rayleigh and them get to you, wait off the coast. And then you've got this great, I love this moment, this panel of both Garp and Roger into their respective transponder snails at the same time saying, I will be back. And now they're getting serious. They've both taken off their jackets, stancing up against Rox here. Garp says, Rox, Roger, I came here intending to arrest you both, but and Roger takes over. Yeah, and my plan was to steal Shaki and the treasure and hightail it out of here. and Roger keeps going. Instead, shall we team up for a minute? And sort of like what Steve and Alex were saying, you get this continued motif of them being sort of in bookending rocks here. Garp replies, I have a number of issues with this, but I can't afford to let him run free.
Now, Alex, does this give you any Goku and Piccolo teaming up vibes?
Oh, 100%.
Maybe Dead Zone more than Raditz, yeah.
Yeah.
Does Garp have a theme? Does Roger have a theme? We gotta have Tanaka try to make a new track that combines the two.
That'd be cool.
But yes, two foes allying against a bigger foe as we go to the next page. And I think this is Garp here trying to like catch Zebek's attention here. He says, "Hey, rocks!" And Zebek immediately just stabs like this, this rock or boulder, whatever, just wall that Garp is bouncing off of, or maybe it's the ground. I don't know, but I think there's a lot of rubble, so it's probably just like some debris here. And Garp, just leaps over Zebek's head as Roger dashes towards rocks here, pulls his sword behind his head and unleashes a slash that makes contact and sends Zebek flying into a wall of rock, head first, stuck in. He looks like just like a demonic ostrich here or something. I don't know. I was gonna say Pooh, but no, Pooh kind of just got stuck, just halfway.
Yeah, if Pooh was killing everybody in 100 Acre Wood. Oh wait, they made a movie about that, didn't they?
Oh yeah. Oh,
several.
Finally. Been waiting for that.
Just what I've always wanted.
If Pooh was real.
Man, I can't wait till they make a horror movie. I can't wait till they make a horror movie of every IP. It's it's just ripe for content. Anyway, so then Garp latches on to Zebek's foot, and he says, "That look you've got, the curse." As Garp begins to swing, what are you doing there? I must ask. Curse. Alex.
Oh, from Aqua Teen.
Come on. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's what I figured. Yeah.
Curse.
Damn, even I got that one.
Sorry, it's been a while, but I always reference the episode with the ventriloquist dummy, the kill, die. So anyway, I'm really good with wow, words fail me. I'm sucking. I'm moving on. It's segues. Speaking of old people movers, Garp starts to swing rocks. Says, "Is there any way to break it?" As he just sends rocks careening into another just piece of rubble here. As Roger leaps into the, he leaps further in the air, or he's already in the air, and he unleashes a slash and says, "Just wake up!" And we just see more black lightning bolts. Supreme King Hockey.
Hell yeah, dude.
And a little bit of time passes here. We see more of the Roger pirates making their getaway. Rayleigh carrying Shockey here, and the rest. And Rayleigh says, "Faster! Roger's going to keep fighting until we've evacuated the island." Someone's like, "This hockey's off the charts."
The charts
and the charts. And then yes, eat all of our charts. And we have Goriosa running up here saying, running up to Gabon and says, "Got a spot for me on the ship, I assume, heart?" And Gabon just says, "Goriosa." Oh.
Bad for her. She just spends these whole
she's
dozen chapters getting owned.
She's a 10. It's a shame. It's
she just wants it too much.
Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, don't you hate it? And Alex, what's happening on the following page.
On the following page.
I realized. Oh, this worked out perfectly.
Oh yeah, no, this is great. It's Big Mom and Kaido, and Linlin says, "Listen up, Kaido. You owe me for the rest of your life, and you're going to make good on that." And Kaido says, "Fat chance.
Fat chance.
Fat chance." Yeah, so I can pull things from time and space out of my duodenum. And he says, "It was finders keepers, Linlin, and you lost. Just watch me. I'm going to create a new crew where violence rules all."
Violence rules.
His entire crew has like no fear t-shirts.
Yeah.
And she's pretty pissed. She says, "You think you're hot stuff now? Keep dreaming of the day you'll beat me. It'll never come." And then, remember Struzan?
No.
Yeah, Greg.
Yeah. Well, here he is. And he says, "Come on, Linlin, let's get moving. Carry this treasure." Yeah, because he's John Lovitz now.
Look like John
John Lovitz.
Jealous.
My God.
Yeah, this treasure, that's the ticket. I'm having a wonderful time. So she says,
this tree is so good. Hey.
So we have like, this is actually kind
Why
of
don't you turn that treasure into some more food there, big boy?
It stinks. So we have this nice little, I love this panel because it's sort of a like, hey, remember Wano? A little bit. Where they have like, they just sort of glare at each other, and Linlin says, "I'll come and collect one day," and he says, "And I'll be waiting to crush your spirit."
We will never be allies.
Nope.
I've just been so, I can't save this any longer. I'm so obsessed with how like weird and pathetic Kaido is in this whole flashback. Like
it's great.
He sucks
it's
so
like,
bad. It's awesome.
There's been so many characters that have gotten better outside of their arcs that keep showing up in flashbacks.
Yeah.
My hot take is Ace. Ace was cool, but I like Ace. Ace I really began to appreciate after Wano.
Oh, sure.
I like him way more. And Kaido is one of those too. Like, yeah, Kaido was like badass, but like nowhere near my favorite villains. But now getting to see him as a pimply faced teenager, his equivalent of it, is a lot of fun.
Yeah, there's like texture and nuance to how much he sucks. It's really fun.
Not saying like there wasn't any development with him. I think like the anime definitely kind of really helps. The episode in particular that kind of shows him when he was younger was a great episode too. But it was kind of just more like, oh, look at all the struggles he went through. I like seeing, like, I don't know. My thing with One Piece is like, yeah, characters can be badass, but they're in One Piece, so they got to be like silly too.
Yeah,
at some point.
Yeah, it was so much fun to watch them all arrive on God Valley, and they're like, "We're gonna get Shaki, we're gonna get treasure," and Kaido's like, "Linlin, are you gonna get me a devil fruit? I really."
You said you'd get me a devil fruit.
Fudgicles.
Yeah, it's just he's just so pathetic. It's awesome.
Alex, sorry to derail.
Yeah. So then we sort of like, I like that there's. Oda was like, I think I ran out of. I did all I needed to do with Linlin and Kaido on this page. So here's Rocks fighting Garp and Roger again, and with a kabam, he sort of, knocks them into rocks. Guess that's why they call them rocks. Elsewhere on the island, there's fire, there's flames, and we see Newgate just sort of walking around, and then we see a figure from up on the hill who says, "You're the one that knocked down that mountain, aren't you, Newgate?" And Newgate says, "Who are you?" And he says, "Looks like your crew is falling apart." And then we see fucking Marco's dad. Very clearly, a character is very clearly Marco's dad.
Says, imagine if he's not. Imagine how funny that would be.
That would be really funny. That would be extremely funny. We joked about this literally 2 weeks ago when we saw a Marco-looking character just sort of fighting a guy that his name is probably Marco Polo, and this guy's name is fucking Polo. Captain of the Polo Pirates.
No,
Polo
but what's his
Graham.
name, though? What does he say?
The name's Graham. His name's Graham. Telegram. No, it's Pologram.
And you're in big trouble, Newgate.
Butter's dad. For old listeners, you'll get it. For new listeners, every time Marco showed up in a chapter, I would always voice him as Butters because he looks like Butters.
I didn't know that. That's really good.
This is Butters' dad, so I'm trying my best Butters' dad impression. Yeah. Yeah, so he says to Newgate that he's a big fan. But also, by the way, I said this out loud when I read this chapter earlier today. I just go, oh, fuck's sake. Like, it was literally...
I said the same thing.
Yeah. Okay. Like, I'm just going to go off on a little cute. Tiny tangent.
It's
here.
A little cute.
Because we've had everybody's dad in this fucking flashback so far, I bet Oda got that feedback and he's like, all right, I'll show these fuckers. I see somebody's
Didn't he also have the Phoenix powers too? Like that panel we saw him when he was fighting. He had wings.
Oh shit.
Right?
Cool.
I gotta know, like, because we're finding out like so many people now, like, you know, have like a lot of characters in this flashback have had devil fruits that we've seen.
Jesus Christ, it's like having a devil fruit is like the fucking, owning stock in the Green Bay Packers. Like, I bequeath this to you on my deathbed. Now you are also an owner of the Green Bay Packers. So he jumps off of his rock and says, I'm a big fan of yours. And he says, hey, you got no ship to go back to, huh? Team up with me instead. And please take my son with you. So Newgate just says, get out of my hair. So I guess that's how Marco came to be on Whitebeard's crew.
Yeah.
He fucked Whitebeard and they had a son named Marco.
Yeah, I've seen the documents on that one. Yeah.
Yeah. Jesus Christ. Hey, I wonder what all the other Rocks pirates are up to. Let's find out. So here's a panel with Stussy and Ganzui and Gilbastar from Wanted.
Yeah.
Who was revealed in an SBS to have been on Rox's crew because his zombie is on Thriller Bark.
Well, also because like there was a panel of when we saw the Rocks Pirates in Kuma's flashback, there was a guy that looked
similar,
very similar to him
with the bowler hat and yeah. So this is confirmed that here he is, and it looks like he's got the hollow fruit,
which is very fitting if you've read that story.
Yes, kind of cool. But also lending credence to my theory that God Valley becomes Thriller Bark at some point, or a chunk of it does. I don't know.
Yeah, but they're all leaving.
Are they though? Are they gonna leave? Are they gonna leave? We'll see. We'll see. Anyway, Stussy's all like, "Where did Newgate go?" And Gonzu's like, "Don't ask me." So, and Gilbastar's there just with a big old bag of gold, and his little funny ghost is sort of following him. Meanwhile, a naval ship. We hear, "What are you doing, Dragon? Calm down." Wonder who's on that ship. Josh?
Would you believe it's Dragon? So meanwhile, the Marines, Dragon has finally, stopped panicking in the middle of the woods. He was so cute doing that, by the way. But now he's just, he's taking control. He's attacked what I'm guessing is like a superior officer. He has a shotgun to his face. No, what are you people doing? Did you know what we were aiding here? Dragon! And then he's gesturing to the civilians of God Valley, or maybe the slaves, or maybe both. Put them on our ship right now. We have to rescue them. And if anyone argues against it, I'll execute him on the spot. So we're starting to see sort of like the Dragon that we know a little bit. This officer replies, "This isn't going to end here, Dragon. It better not." And then we're cutting back away to the Roger Pirates. Rayleigh, Gabon, where are you going? Don't you dare follow us. Take the ship out into open water and wait. And it's Saturn, our favorite guy, He's made the decision, as we've seen him make decisions before, under Emu's orders. That island,
I think this,
or is that him? Do you think?
is this still Emu possessing Saturn?
Yeah, look at his eyes.
Oh yeah, he's got the eyes. Okay,
and he's
He
got
also,
the,
like-
in the font.
Yeah, he looks like
Watching.
he looks like our cat Jupiter. They both make the same face.
Okay. Okay, so Emu is saying that island will have never existed. Understood? And then we're sort of getting the official story, what we've got in the World Government X-Files, right? The God Valley incident, S level.
The West Blue.
Oh, excuse me. In the West Blue, the God Valley incident, S level, top secret classification. This is all, of course, over top of Roger and Garp fighting Rox here. Records of clandestine operations and special hazard pay for Naval Base G11 and Cipher Pole number 6. And their fight has continued to such a degree that the other pillar of God Valley has fallen, ruining our beautiful visual metaphor. Registry of the participants in the human hunt expunged. Site of event, God Valley. Island location, area, population details, erased. Number of fatalities, unknown. And, they're still fighting. They're clearly they've been through a lot. It's nothing but rubble on the island now. Garp, did you know about that enormous black monster the government has? And they call themselves the good guys. I can't believe it either. Roger says, if you're going to quit the Navy, come join us. And Garp says something that I love, and I can't wait to talk about later. Don't be an idiot. If I quit, who's going to watch out for the rank and file?
Alrighty. And Roger gets on his feet and says, it all comes down to mass, doesn't it, Garp? And Garp says, mass? What do you mean? And Roger says, first of all, the color of armament is a power that doesn't yield to the devil fruits. And on top of that, I was wreathed in the color of supreme hockey. There's no way it couldn't have hurt him. And Garp says, yeah, but he was guarded with Supreme King too, so they cancel out. And Roger says, exactly my point. And Garp says, there's no damage unless we surpass that. That's the most Dragon Ball Z ass response.
It was a little, yeah.
Yeah.
No damage.
Roger says, if it's all down to who wears out first, we'll lose. There's no way to keep up with a monster like that thing. And Garp says, so you want to hit him with a critical mass of Supreme King hockey? And Roger says, exactly. Don't even think about whatever stamina you need after that. And Garp says, in that case, you're saying we don't come back. It's like, you're saying we don't come back from this alive. And Roger says, if we could pull this off, all three of us will be down for the count. And Roger retorts, but if we miss, we're done for. And this is Rox here planting his foot with a stomp. I guess he's rising back to his feet as Garp glares over and he says, listen up, Rox. I don't know what I can say to console you. I don't know what happened to you either. But there's one thing I do recognize. I recognize your sorrow. And we see just Rox, just a even bigger blubbering mess than he was before. And it's contagious because now Roger has tears in his eyes that he's trying to hide as he says, don't cry, you idiot. God of fire. And Garp winds up as well. He says, infinitum, right?
Infinitum.
I always want to say. I just want to make sure. But yeah, both of them are winding up. And Rox just lets out a big blubbering like cry. And Alex?
And continuing his attack, and I'll say it, Gold Roger says, God of Fire, my future son! That's right, he says Ace, which is very funny to me that he named his son after the attack that killed a person.
But also a sword. Don't forget that's the name of his sword.
It's also the name of his sword. That's right, I totally forgot that.
No, that is really funny. It's like if my dad had an attack called Joshua. I think that's really good.
But his sword was also named Joshua.
Yeah.
Thunder Joshua.
Yeah, it actually sucks like a lot more to think of it that way.
Is there any attacks you could name after me? Steve?
Steve.
I don't want to say Steven because it's going to get confused with the more popular and more important Steven.
Oh, of course. Gum Gum Steve.
Say less.
Wow.
Got it in one.
Mic drop. And of course Garp's attack where he sort of whips his fists. He says infinitum explosion. So they both really tear through rocks here in this gigantic splash panel here.
Yeah. I didn't realize he was getting like his leg is getting cut off, and
he was also huge, reminding us how huge he became. Looks like, Roger's attack really puts a hole through him and cuts off his leg and whatnot. And Garp's attack is very, very much like Gum Gum Gatling, but with big old hockey fists, and he's punching holes through them. And we slowly sort of see him very reminiscent of Dragon Ball Z explosion, sort of disintegrate.
like Cell.
Yeah.
I'm perfect.
So
draw that one too.
I could, yeah. So then we have a little narration here. The world government attempted to cover everything that happened here, but the downfall of Rox D. Zevik and his lawless band of followers, the Rox Pirates, who wreaked havoc on their era, cast unmistakable reverberations that shook the very world. To be continued.
And that'll do it. Are we on break next week? I don't think so. We got another chapter coming.
I don't know. I think we might be on break next week.
Yeah, we got the wrong Steven here to tell us that.
Yep. Well, we'll find out next week.
Steven.
Wrong Steve died.
Come aboard and find out.
Yeah. It doesn't say on the website. I'm just gonna check on the app here. I believe so. I'm not gonna be on for that one, but it don't tell you no more. At least for me. I don't know. What One Piece, like James Bond, will be back. So that's going to do it. And this is going to be, I think, believe it or not, I think this is going to be a pretty interesting discussion because we have, all of us have not been on the show in a little bit. And I know some of us have very different opinions and experiences with this flashback. But first, you know what? Alex, I want you to start.
Okay.
Your thoughts on the chapter,
just in case we lose my audio. This I haven't been on in a while, and the last couple times I had been on, I was sort of let this flashback have it in terms of it sort of taking its time, its sweet ass time, and also veering from Harold himself, because this is technically his flashback that then got hijacked by God Valley. And I wasn't having too much fun. And also, like, everybody's, like, family is in it, and you get to see, like, that their dads all have their own, the same devil fruit powers and shit, and it just kind of felt, like, a little lazy. But now, like, the last couple chapters, the last one in particular, like, really got me back. And I think once you kind of get to the fireworks factory, then things really start heating up. I know that, like, the general consensus has sort of looked like Oda's action sequences haven't really hit the mark lately, as far as it looks like he's been sort of just cutting corners and nobody can really tell what's going on. And I think that this chapter in particular, the last two chapters in particular, have sort of been a nice return to form for him in a lot of ways, as far as being able to follow the action goes. As far as layout is concerned, I really like. I if I remember correctly, last chapter had a bunch of really cool, a bunch of really nice panel layout that I really happen to like, and there's a lot of really fun stuff happening in the panels in this particular chapter. I kind of want to talk about the last, not the last spread, but the page before that, where everybody's crying. That page, I think page 20. I love this little interstitial between this Roger and Garp panel and them facing off against rocks, and we sort of see this ka-chunk, and we sort of see one half of their face. I don't know. It's that to me is it reads very cinematic, and it didn't need to be there. This little tiny panel, and it feels like he has been really using all of the page for these last couple chapters, and it just feels really good to read One Piece like that again. It makes me really want to go back and read the flashback from the beginning all in one go now, because ultimately I think I was like, yeah, we know where this goes. Eventually Roger and Garp are going to have to fight rocks, and they're going to kill him, or maybe he'll get away, but just get on with it. But now that we've gotten to this point, and we've got the Domi Reversi thing kind of coming back, that little callback to what's happening in the story currently, everything is sort of makes sense to me now. I think this flashback probably could have been a little shorter, but in the grand scheme of things, it is really fun to see the Rocks Pirates just be characters and have little moments. Like Kaido in this flashback has definitely been more fun than Kaido has ever been in the series. And I don't think I don't think I'm alone in that.
No, he's a silly little loser in this. It's great.
Yeah, he's kind of great. I kind of, with that added context, I kind of want to reread Wano a little bit more now. I think the one thing that's sort of the thing that's sort of bothering me, and this is just the nittiest pick. When does Roger grow his iconic mustache? He just has this little shit stash.
Oh, to match his Jolly Roger.
Yeah, exactly. Is this just his moment where he lost a bet and had to shave it off or something? It's it's in between him growing it back.
No, he's still young. That's the thing. This is
or maybe he's just this is the mustache that I want to grow one day.
An aspirational mustache. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But he there's a panel I think on page 12, or is it 13, where he really looks like Ace. He just looks exactly like Ace.
I don't know if you're looking at this on an iPad or not, but I think your page numbers are a little bit different.
This is my desktop. I'm looking at it on a monitor, but yeah.
I mean, if you're referring to either this sort of one where he's taking a jump swing at rocks, or the page before where he's talking into the transponder snail, I think both of those, it's very Ace-like, to sort of prove your point.
There's a lot of panels where he looks like Ace. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's nice. I think that might answer your question about why he doesn't have his iconic mustache, just because they really want to hammer that home, how Ace-like he is.
And there's a lot of Luffy and Garp too, which is kind of fun to see in a lot of these panels too. Dragon, I don't really see the resemblance too much, but he probably got
takes after his mother.
Yeah.
Yeah, standing in the forest, gripping his shotgun, panicking. Yeah, that's real
I do
mother
love how
boy
Garp
behavior.
Garp is this very handsome man, and just Dragon's this little gremlin. where he's just like, the Navy are just the tools of the government and they're conspiring to hold you down, and they're like, shut up, ugly.
What's funny is that like earlier this week I did get spoiled on something, but I would call it even a non-spoiler, where the spoiler was literally Shiki announces the end of the Rocks Pirates. And I'm like, why is that a spoiler?
I mean, we know right?
No shit.
What are you, a post on Threads?
Yeah. So, yeah, the long and short of it is that I really, I've been really jazzed lately with One Piece. And, I guess Pologram is really stupid, but it's stupid in like kind of a good way where like, why the fuck does he need an Otobox?
Why does he need to exist is my whole thing. Sorry, not to derail too much. I'm just like, I'm really getting sick of like, everyone's important and all their kids are important.
Yeah.
And anyone who's ever been important,
that kind of sucks. I mean, like, the thing that I really liked about the last chapter was that, like, you see that Gonzui has the Mr. 5 power, and that Captain John has kids power, and it's like, oh, cool. These people, like, clearly are not related to. I mean, God, maybe they might be.
I mean, like, I don't think it's all the way there yet. Like, I'm not ready to be mad about it, but like, I mean, it after a while of this, it does sort of start to betray the spirit, where it's like, where it's like I mean, Luffy and Zoro just met in like some town, and they work together to become the best at what they do, right? But like, they were supposed to be just two fucking guys. And so a little bit of this is nice. Like, I haven't reached my saturation point yet. Like, I'll go into my thoughts on what's going on, but like, I don't want this to become Star Wars, where everybody has to be related to greatness in order to be great, because that's not what One Piece is about.
Yeah, that's my complaint. I've said it so many times, you know, and people are probably like, enough. But I rolled a pologram, and is it supposed to be a pun off a hologram too? I don't know.
Oh, maybe.
But it'd be one thing about, oh, it's supposed to be tongue in cheek, and I'm like, no, I don't think so. I think this is meant to be a hashtag hype moment. And I'm sorry if you winced at me saying it like that. It just feels like that. Isn't this cool?
This is the I know that's bad zone right here.
Because that's I mean, that's like, because it's supposed to garner a response like, oh, Marco's. That's how like Marco's dad. That's how Marco got the crew. It's like this is not being played for laughs, I think. So I couldn't help but roll my eyes. I'm like, oh my god, does like everything have to? It's like the music like the music biopic, where it's like, and then they walked by, you know, a store window and saw a guitar, and that was the moment. You know, it's like, stop.
I should make a song about this guitar crying. People will love it.
I don't know. I never seen Bohemian Rhapsody, and I really don't want to, but I'm sure that movie's just full of that kind of shit. It's like, oh wow, you played a really good hand in poker there. That was a killer queen. And Freddie Mercury just looks off into the distance.
I have to watch approximately one musician biopic a year to talk about the Oscar nominations. They're all like that. Just to be clear, they're all like that. It's a wasteland of art in the music biopic space.
You don't need to make another music biopic as long as Walk Hard still exists.
I mean, Walk Hard should have killed them. Walk Hard. Ugh. Walk Hard was too early, I guess.
Just like how Austin Powers killed James Bond.
The wrong music biopic died. Anyway, Alex, sorry, we derailed a lot from you.
No,
anything else you'd like to add?
No, that's it. I mean, yeah, good show, Oda. Well done.
Now, Josh, I'm very curious to hear your takes, because unlike Alex and I, you were catching up a lot today in prep for this podcast. You read 12 chapters. So you had the experience of reading all of this like in one go, the way it's probably really meant to be read. So I'm curious, like, tell me your thoughts. I don't know. I don't know if it would be. I feel like it would be better to just ask you your thoughts overall of this flashback before going into your thoughts of the God Valley conclusion here. So I'm curious what your takes are.
Yeah. Captain Takes over here. Yeah, real Josh heads will know by now that I don't like to read it week to week. So like when I'm not on the show, I'm not reading One Piece. I just wait until the next time I have to be a One Piece pundit, and then I catch up. Which is why I have, I think, a more favorable opinion of things like Dressrosa compared to like other people on the show, because I read Dressrosa in one shot. And so like a lot of the pacing issues that totally are probably understandable if you have to see it happen week by week, they weren't there for me because I got to set my own pace. So much the same way, the way that I feel about the God Valley flashback, I don't really interact with the One Piece fandom space at all. This is the most in that I interact with, but I saw whispers online of people being like, oh, it's bad. Oh, it's too much, whatever. So I did sort of go in with that, having heard that gossip. So, but I went into it, and for me, honestly, went hard as fuck. I do think it's kind of funny that like it did like fully just interrupt like the flashback that Loki was doing. That's a little awkward. And I agree that there are things that I think are a little too cute by half. I think Marco's dad is the worst of it. Like, Marco's not even fucking here. This isn't about Marco. Don't tell me about Marco. I don't want to think about Marco. We have enough guys to think about. So I think you do get sort of like bits and pieces that are too cute by half, that sort of bring the overall quality down. But like for the most part, I'm incredibly pleased with the God Valley flashback. I think that the God Valley incident is something that has been built up to us for a long time. The Rocks Pirates have been built up since Wano, if I'm not mistaken. So like there's been a lot of stuff that like we knew we were going to have to eventually talk about and eventually hear about. And I think sometimes those things can take on expectations that aren't reasonable or aren't able to be met within the text. But this, I think, totally works. I mean, the God Valley incident isn't more than it needs to be. I think what's most important about it is that it sets the tone for things like O'Hara and Egghead later. So we do see this sort of modus operandi of the world government, of the elders in specific. So I mean, it completely plays it the way that you would sort of expect that to happen in real life. Like, why would you change up the play? We're going to nuke this fucking island off the map and murder everybody, and we don't have to get fancy about it. So, I mean, I think it's nice to sort of get that sort of pattern in here. For the most part, I think that all of the characterizations we got of the people during this flashback, especially I want to say Roger, I think it's so cute how he's like head over heels for Shockey. Like, I didn't see that for him. I didn't see him being like a simp. But I think it was really cute. It was like really fun of him to do. I loved the stuff with Shockey and Rayleigh. I thought that was cute too. Rox as a guy, really enjoyed him. I mean, it was nice to get his, I mean, like, you know, because it's Blackbeard's dad, right? So like you're already like, oh, probably a fuckhead. But then like I thought his interactions with Harold were nice. I like how hard he tried to convince Harold not to trust the elders and the world government. I really felt for him, like, because like suddenly he's like, oh, I have a wife and child. And you're like, oh, okay, whatever. I mean, we have to get to Blackbeard eventually, I guess. But I actually thought it was pretty impactful when he gets Domi reversied and has to like sort of lose his dreams, basically, like with Roger and Garp having to sort of like put him out of his misery. I think it was a bit of tragedy that I wouldn't have expected for the dad of Blackbeard. And so
that's
for
his Flintstones equivalent. Well, we're gonna take over the world there, Bond.
That was really good, actually. Good for you. But like all of these characters that are the generation before our contemporaneous generation, it's been, I think by and large, I'm happy with sort of the backstories and like the personality they've been given. I think it's very rewarding to have Dragon, who we've only seen in bits and pieces as a revolutionary badass, be like a loser in the woods with a gun. Because I think that to have a revolutionary mindset, you have to start from somewhere, right? So like you see the horrors and the way the system fails, and I think at some point you have to be like a scared kid about it. It was, I think it was great how I felt gave us just enough to tie in what we already saw from the Kuma and Ginny flashback, to sort of knit it all together. What the bits and pieces we knew about Kaido and Big Mom, I thought were woven together well. The like little bits we got about like Stussy were like woven together well. So like, I mean, for me, I thought it all hangs together really nicely. It was a nice break, I think, from like what's going on in Elbaf. I don't know how much longer it's planning to go, because we still do have to get back to Herald at some point to like finish that off. So I'm like, I don't want it to overstay its welcome, but like at this point now, when it seems like we're wrapping up the God Valley incident, I don't know. I think he cooked.
Wow. No, I'm glad you were on for this, because I like hearing that opposite opinion. Not opposite, just like the the different perspective of it. And I think we always kind of talk about, oh, maybe this will be better, when it's all like together in one package here. Because I've been very back and forth. I feel like there's one week where I'll love a chapter, and the other week I'll be like, ugh. One thing I before I forget, because I know I'll forget things I want to talk about. I want to talk about Garp, because I think for years people have been like, he sucks because he's content with like what the world government is doing, and he just like turns an eye to it. And now we kind of we see his stance where he's like, I can't leave because I gotta look after everyone else. And there's always these weird, and I wouldn't say weird, but there's always these hot takes about Garp, and I sometimes like I can't help but kind of find it a little silly when people damn a fictional character. It's like fictional characters are allowed to have flaws. But I'm curious what your thoughts were on this, because I think this is a compelling arc for the story. It does kind of suck, because I'm like, no, Garp, no, it's the government's awful. And I don't necessarily believe that you could fix an institution from the inside by just being the good one. But maybe that's the tragedy of Garp here. But I also wonder if this is the story Oda intends to tell, because Garp is still like he's a very lovable character. He's very funny and all that. And I wonder if this is going to be looked at as like, oh, we should respect Garp for wanting to do this. But also, this is like, when you talk about cartoonishly evil, this is the most evil cartoonishly evil can get. It's this demonic shadow creature that possesses people and turns them evil, and also just revels in just killing others and wiping out races. It's so I truly wonder. I'm like, God, how's Garp gonna sleep at night with this decision? But I think Josh had something he wanted to say about it as well.
Yeah, I mean, to find, I guess, sympathy for the devil here, like to sort of like find nuance inside of ACAB, if that's what we're presented with. I mean, I am touched that it's clear that Garp recognizes in this moment, when he's like, in the rubble with Roger, that like if he's not there, more and more Marines will be ground up under the heel of the elders and the world government. And it's by and large the Marines. By and large, the Marines in this fictional story are people who like probably think that they're helping people and want to be helping people, right? But they are tools to protect capital and to protect Marijoa, and to protect this class of people that are objectively evil. So but like it's clear that Garp knows that like there is something about these people's want to be a force for good, that he wants to protect them. And I think narratively that's important, because that gives something. I mean, because like, I mean, for me, I think it's clear that I think Garp's not going to survive the story. I think it seems like he wouldn't. But it gives a way out for Kobe and Smoker, because it shows that there are these people in the Marines, because there's lots of Marines that we know who don't fuck with the world government, don't fuck with the slavers. Like they don't fuck with all that. So there has to be a place for them to be like, we need to divest from the Marines and make a force that's actually here to protect people and not protect capital, not protect wealth, not protect slave owning perverts. So Garp is sort of the person who's going to set this track up for Kobe and Smoker and the rest of Sword, who are ostensibly wanting to use the Marines for their proper purpose of protection and keeping people safe, and not just protecting capital and property. So I mean, I for me, like, that completely disambiguates Garp's motivations for everything. Like, he's aware that there are ideologues inside the Marines, again, as a fictional law enforcement entity. That there are ideologues, there are kids, his own son, that probably believe in things like that they're here to help people and do the right thing. I mean, I don't know. I think that's Garp down to me. Like, that's just exactly what I would expect him to do. That's what I think Kobe is thinking. That's what I think, I don't know, I guess post time skip Helmeppo is thinking. That's what I think Smoker and Tashigi are thinking. I think all of those Marines that we know aren't evil are probably all thinking like this.
Yeah. I think it'd be one thing. I think I'd be down on Garp if it was more like, no, I gotta stay because pirates are bad, Navy good.
Right.
And like, there are bad pirates, like, we can't like act like there isn't. So I do respect Garp, like, for this, at least. Like, it's unfortunate, but we know the story. That's why we can't be like, oh, fuck Garp. It's like, well, we know Garp is still with the Navy. He's gonna be with the Navy. I always think about people were saying back then, it's like, oh, Garp didn't save Ace at Marineford, but like, he'll go and save Kobe. And I think, like, I think people are missing the nuance there. It's like, pirates are criminals in this world. Like, how could Garp justify saving Ace, and give up his position of looking after the rank and file? It's nuance, and you don't have to agree with it, but that's just stories. That's a story.
I mean, I think you expect to see Garp. I mean, you saw him in this flashback like 3 chapters ago, like when they couldn't even tell what side Garp was on, like when Emu possessed Saturn, like you couldn't, like even his own people didn't know who he was going to like attack, right? So like, I mean, like, to just shadow box that hypothetical of why didn't he save Ace? It's like, oh, well, he doesn't have the leverage. If he's in a situation like this where all of the strongest people are on an island fighting, then he has the leverage. So like, going forward, if there's a for sure situation that's going to happen where pirates wage war on the cruel slave owning world government, then I think it's clear what Garp is going to do. What Garp and the other Marines who have put themselves apart from the like the Mari Joa body, what they're going to do. I mean, for me, this completely tells me exactly what sort of character he is.
Yeah, I sorry, I think I lost track of what exactly I was going to say, but yeah, I think it's just there's just an ongoing nuance to Garp's character that you don't have to agree with, but at least, like, he has his reasons. And I think Garp damn well knew what God Valley, like the whole God Valley thing, was too. So it kind of sucks that he was complacent in that, but also I think it's what you were talking about Marineford. Like, he's not in a position of power to change it. I think if Garp were to like retaliate to this, he would just be fired or locked up or something like that, and then he would be powerless. So the tragedy of Garp is him trying to fix a broken
exactly,
a broken system. But meanwhile, this is Dragon's radicalization, because Dragon will have no part of it. The thing is, Dragon has far less to lose, and we obviously know where this leads. Dragon starts up the Revolutionary Army. Where that goes, I don't know. Maybe Dragon's gonna be he's gonna be leaving this island, and he runs into the father of Lindbergh. So Lindbergh's the Lindbergh baby.
I think it's interesting that, like, this also coincides with the origin of Ivankov, Ginny, and Kuma, who end up joining the revolutionaries. Oh yeah, we didn't talk about how like Kuma vanished Eris and Teach, right? Like that's
Yeah.
we don't see, I don't think we've seen Eris in the current story, so something must happen to her at some point or
It's a to quote our good friend Jill, a mom in One Piece, they're not long for this world.
No. And I do want to say, like, Oda, boys also have moms. Like, I'm thinking about like who gets moms in the series, and it's just women. And I'm like, boys also have moms.
Yeah.
Yes, Mars isn't the only place that needs moms.
That's actually true.
Well, I don't know. Newgate, Newgate and fucking Graham here might prove otherwise. Some boys just might have two dads. One thing I'll say about Eris, what I like about her is she had some agency, even though she's just shoehorned in. And Oda's doing this a lot, which just kind of, it's like, this is an important character. And it's like, you thought of this character like 2 weeks ago, didn't you? But like when like Rox attacked her, she's like, oh no, like, so like you were corrupt. Like she seems like well informed. I mean, I think, she's D as well. So I kind of like that about her. It wasn't just like, oh my God, what's going on? Oh, ow, my ankle. Like I was really happy to see her have agency. I think my biggest bummer with the whole, with the Teach thing was, why was this reveal in just a blurb underneath Rox's name when he was introduced in this arc? And I know like fans would be smart enough to like probably assume this was Teach, but man, that reveal would have hit big much later in the flashback.
I agree.
Yeah.
I think like you robbed yourself of a real like, oh my God, reveal. Like one that I feel like I'm probably talking on my ass, but like one I feel like we haven't gotten in a while. Like, and I'm talking like the equivalent of like, Ace being Roger's son, and I don't know, like Sabo being, in Dressrosa, stuff like a big like oh shit moment.
Yeah, because we didn't know before that like drop that Rox was Blackbeard's dad, right? Like that.
No.
Okay.
I wonder if Oda was just like, hey, he looks so much like Blackbeard. People are gonna know, and then it's just people
I
are gonna
wondered that.
Yeah, and people are just going to be saying it for weeks, so I might as well just get it out of the way.
Yeah, if I had to guess, I think he just kind of wanted to gag us then, because like I mean, I think that chapter was fine, but I don't remember it being like chock full of goodies. So I bet he's like, let me give it to him now. But yeah, I agree. It could have waited.
I don't want to take up too much time because your time is precious, but with this flashback, because I said I've been back and forth, but I'm trying to think. It's like, why now? Why are we learning about this now? And I actually think, because maybe we talk about, like maybe Oda didn't know where to place this flashback, so he's doing it now. It's like, no, I think it's intentional because this is about the world government erasing history, wiping out a race, wiping out a culture, wiping an island off the map. This is going to play into what's currently happening in Elbaf. So I think this was the right place to do it. The pacing feels so frantic, but like this is all going to be worth it. It'd be, I don't know, like an example I could think of. It was just like, I remember Hunter x Hunter in the Chimera Ant arc. There was like this whole episode talking about this ruler of this land. I don't know, whatever it was. And I thought it was going to play into like the arc, and it really didn't. it just felt random. And probably Hunter x Hunter fans are going to come after me and explain why it was important. And it's been a few years since I watched. But this, I'm like, no, like we need to know, like, this is the show. This is what the government is all about. This is what they're capable of. This was, and this is Rox trying to tell people like, no, the government sucks. It's like, don't get Elbaf involved. And now we're seeing, well, instead, Harold opened the doors, and now the government is going to come in and just fuck everything up for Elbaf. They're going to enslave the giants and just erase their history. And it's I think it's all going to tie together pretty nicely here. I do like this era for One Piece. I think this like era is so ripe for like this could be like its own series, and I think I would enjoy it. not so much that find out who everyone's famous dads are. Like, and I've talked about that enough, but I think a lot of the characters are interesting. I do like the Rocks Pirates. I feel like it's assembling like a Pokemon team of all legendaries. It's just,
I mean, I texted Steve about this, but I really did love the lore that it's like just like the worst Davy back fights imaginable to get like the worst guys you've ever met like on a ship together. I think that's really fun.
And I hope we get some more of that too.
I mean,
or
go ahead.
I just wonder if Oda thinks like, no, it's poison. Everyone hates it. I'm like, no.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I just think it's good to show that like at least one legendary pirate crew wasn't made up of people who were like fated best friends to meet forever. Because like, even in like movies or whatever, you get like these sort of like one-off pirate crews that are like, oh, these are my bestest guys. Baron Omatsuri was willing to just suck countless people dry for his little zombie crew, right? Like, so like it's nice to see pirates that are completely transactional, completely there for their own benefit. They're not like found family at all. They're just sort of like unwilling coworkers,
right?
And I think that's good to see.
And I guess like I think a lot of us were under expectations that Rocks was going to do something so dastardly that everyone's like, "Fuck this, we're done." And I guess that wasn't necessarily the case. Everyone was just in it for themselves, and it was just,
and he just sort of seemingly turned on them, I guess.
Yeah. Because it was kind of just like everyone went there with the intention of being out for themselves. You know, like they knew, like, oh no, like, doing one last, it's like the crew of like it's like Ocean's 11, like, oh, one last haul and I'm out. It's one last job. So it is very entertaining because like the Straw Hats are all about we just met under circumstance, but we're such good friends, and these guys are just assholes.
Yeah. I mean, it really does sort of highlight how, I mean, like Sanji was just like, let me go, right? And Luffy went all the way over to like fuck with somebody way over his head to get him back. I mean, in Whole Cake. And so I think like it's great to have the opposite of that. Like there's really truly all kinds of pirate crews that are configured all over the place. And that just makes you enjoy the bond of the Straw Hats more, I think.
Mm-hmm. We haven't talked too much about like the whole Davy bloodline thing.
There's nothing to talk about because it's still like we don't really know much about it. It's still something that's sort of being talked about, like pretty casually. Like, eventually all this is going to make sense once we get a big lore dump. But like, it doesn't seem like the Davy thing is a bloodline more so than it is just a. Because it's like, now I'm part of the Davy clan. They welcomed me into their thing. So it's like the Stonecutters, right? Where, even Steve Guttenberg is a Davy.
Even Steve Guttenberg. That was one of the things I responded to least. I just don't like care about that. I think it works just as well if you had said, we've brought all of these slaves, including Ivankov and Ginny and Kuma, to the island. Also, we enslaved the inhabitants of God Valley.
Yeah,
it's good enough. This like nonsense about like Buccaneers and the Davy clan is like not my favorite part, but it could pay off later, I guess. But for now, I responded to it not very much at all.
And it could just be as simple as these were just people that opposed the world government and they were wiped out because of it.
Well, I mean, they're implying that it
could be that.
Yeah, I mean, they're implying that like the original guy, that Davy Jones, like rivaled Emu, but I'm like, well, we already have Joy Boy for that. Seems a little bit of a double beat.
Yeah, it's so much.
Yeah,
it's like Pokemon legendaries.
It's a little bit of a double beat for me, but maybe it'll disambiguate later. I don't know.
Yeah, and like we've been talking for a while about this miraculously for just a few of us. But I think I will say, as much as I love reading, I want to read One Piece first thing in the morning. I think I got to stop because I think I read it when I'm groggy and I'm like, what's going on? I don't care. and then like and then when I look at it again, I'm like, okay, this is actually fun. Like the action is good. And I think I just gotta. I think I I gotta hydrate in the morning or have some coffee and then read the chapter because I'm not as harsh about it. But I still did not need to know Marco's dad is.
And
the end of God Valley, it feels like the craziest fucking prom is wrapping up, and you're like, I gotta go home with somebody, so I could brag about it.
And to be so clear, I think I said this already. I'm not there yet, but I'm close. I need to stop hearing about famous parents. I have not yet reached critical mass, but I'm not far off. I don't want to hear about it anymore. I want more Namis that came from nowhere. I don't want to know her family. I don't want to know anything about it. I want more people who achieved greatness through their own efforts and their own life circumstances. And I'm at capacity, but I'm still within.
For sure. And also it's like, it's like, this could have been in an SBS. God, I feel like I trust me, I'm not that salty about the pologram thing, but I just think it's so silly. I'm like, did we really have to know?
Well, it was a sour note in what was a pretty cool chapter. Like Alex said earlier, there was some really cool page layouts. I thought like Rox's end was quite tragic. There was like a sadness to this because like the whole setup was this sort of like triumvirate of Garp and Roger and Rox, and then of course like you can feel that like nobody wanted Rox to go out this way, himself most of all, obviously, but like Garp and Roger didn't want it to go out like this either. And so I mean there was a real tragedy there. And then by the way, I'm Polo. I hated it. You hate to see it.
It detracted a little bit. Like I think if it turned out like, oh yeah, that was Marco's dad, I'm like, well, I guess eventually he met Whitebeard. I don't know, it's just something.
Eventually he meets Whitebeard. I don't need to know.
it's just more food. It's just I see it, just goldfish just coming up and just nom 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 nom. I would have rather just see more scenes cook a little bit more, but just overall, I think the God Valley incident is it's a great example of just the world government rewriting history, because we just know like, oh, Rox, he was a terrible dude, when he was a terrible dude to the world government, and it's just an ongoing problem in this series and just in the world. Is just we have people, ethnicity, like just just different ethnic cultures, entire countries that are just painted as demonic, and it's just it's certain people that are in charge that are controlling that narrative, and that's just what happened here at God Valley.
And I think narratively it's important because O'Hara we saw in a limited capacity, right? Like that's when you learn that there's I think that's when you learn that there's like this massive disinformation campaign within the government. And then like you see it in Egghead, but you're also in the middle of it. So you're not really seeing it holistically. So to see God Valley, because like, I mean, at least for me as a reader, like when I'm in a scene, I'm with the Straw Hats, right? So like so like to see it in this way, that's in a flashback with characters who are like by and large dead now, you are sort of able to see it as like a broad view. So you get all of these images of the government committing the same atrocities over and over again from different like focal lengths, I guess. And that's important to sort of establish this is what they are. This is what they do. This is untenable, unconscionable.
Yeah. It's just so funny that like, it's humorous, I would say, for the world government to be like, oh, the God Valley incident, that's when Rox D. Zebek did like a really bad thing. He went after all like the Navy and the Celestial Dragons, and someone should just raise their hand and be like, why were the Celestial Dragons there? Like, oh, you don't need to know. No,
sorry, were they there for the slave tournament? Just asking.
That's not important. What? No. I'm not answering that question. Yeah, it's it's kind of just like, why don't you share his opinions? Like, oh no, we don't gotta go into that.
Yeah. The Marines were supposed to like all go to a learn and lunch about this, but then it gets canceled by the higher ups, or a lunch and learn, I guess is what.
Well, I think that was a really great discussion, and really looking forward to the fallout here. I'm looking forward to seeing Harold again. Eventually the Straw Hats too, but I'm interested to see how this is all going to culminate into the end of this flashback as a whole. But if you guys don't have any other opinions, we could just move on to the next segment. You guys good?
Sure.
Let's do it. This is the Piece Together segment where we take your questions, comments, theories, and learn who our famous dads are.
Finally, I can't wait.
As always, we're going to start this segment with This Piece, which is our exclusive, leave that all in. I don't care. That's like if you are a patron over on our Patreon page, you get first dibs, getting all your questions, comments, theories in, and we got to read them all. So I'm going to start from the Sleigh Bell King, parentheses Slay, and with the happy face with the D, with the letter D.
The wide grin, yeah.
Oh, classic. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're starting with them. Apologies. I think you're gonna be you're the most recent one. God, I gotta speed this up. Anyway, hello my fellow finders and keepers. I promise I won't read all these in David Lynch. Do any of you have any routines or rituals before podcasting or streaming? When you do them, to help you or just out of habit? Thanks and have a good week. Wow, what an interesting question. I don't have any like warm-ups or anything for the One Piece podcast. I'm usually coming from Sungwon's recording the Let's Play channel. So I do Let's Play channel, drive home, and just immediately just hop into my chair and start recording this podcast. I guess you could say the Let's Play is kind of like a warm up to just keep talking for the day. For Kids Flashback, I will admit sometimes I tend to be like, "Oh, time to podcast," and I just hop on. So I don't know if you have any fun.
I do.
Rituals?
I do. Well, it's not fun, but it is it's not even a ritual really. But I usually take a shower before I podcast, because I'm exclusively on podcasts that are like about like media and media analysis. So like the shower is nice to sort of like gather my thoughts. I've joked about it being like a ritual cleansing before, but it's just a regular shower. I like to get in an array of various beverages to enjoy because, as you can imagine, the One Piece podcast recordings are quite long. So yeah, I mean, but like mostly like I do like to sort of like have like a hard reset with the shower.
Right on. Our next one's from Remarkable iPolo. It says, "Hey, rank and file, given that G6 was involved in the God Valley incident, does that mean that our favorite boy Jerry was there? Did God Valley get moved to the South Blue and become Karate Island? Probably the only ever God Valley became another island theory anyone has. Do you know who Jerry is?"
I didn't get a single word of what you just said to me. No, I'm sorry. I have no answer to your question.
Famous member of G6, Jerry. Mm. Do you know Jerry?
I'm not entirely sure I know what G6 is. Like, if I'm being so for real.
Well, I guess G6 is because G's are the naval bases.
Right. That part I knew, but like, is this a particularly famous division? I don't remember this.
Oh, brother, let me look this up.
Because I know that we read it in the chapter that it was a G6 and then like this a Cipher Pole division, but I'm like, I don't know. I'm just like, oh, that's more government people.
This is the fan. This is a fan wiki, so that could just be a bunch of crap. G6. Marine Base Lakota and the Bofala Pentagon. The new world, the Bofala D's nuts, more like it. Formerly known as Ichitani. Wow. Is an island in the New World and a desert island serving as the home of the Engi Kingdom. Sure. I don't know. And I forget how this ties into Jerry. But Jerry's a really tall man who boxes.
Hell yeah, Jerry.
But then he tries to kick Sanji anyway.
Bad move, Jerry.
one of my favorite characters to piss off people with, like, oh, like Jerry, and people are like, who the fuck is Jerry?
Right. Yeah, because it sounds like you're talking about like a middle manager accountant when you say Jerry. Yeah.
He looks like one too, except he's really tall and he has boxing gloves. Our next one is from Abdul, who writes, "Hello, OPP. It's been a long time since I wrote in. In fact, the last time was probably me calling in from when I was in the Caribbean during a call-in show 9 to 10 years ago.
Welcome back, Abdul.
Yeah, it's quite a different podcast. It's just me and Josh now. No. I've since seen a One Piece movie with Zach and other OPP listeners in the city, and gotten to attend a panel and buy Steve's art at Anime NYC. Anyway, fast forward to now. I got married a little over a year ago.
Congratulations.
And for our 1-year anniversary / my birthday trip, my wife and I are going to Japan on Tuesday. It'll be the first time for both of us and a long-awaited one for me. We'll be starting our trip in Tokyo, going to Kyoto, Osaka for a few days, and then ending back in Tokyo. Besides the obvious Mugiwara store visit, I wanted to ask if there are any other One Piece-centric attractions I should be checking out while I'm there. I'm bummed One Piece Tokyo Tower is no longer a thing because I always wanted to go.
Yeah, I'm devastated.
I always wanted to go there one day, but we are planning to go to Disneyland Tokyo, so that should be fun. Other than that, is there any tips you all have for a first-timer? Do's and do-nots are welcome. I'll have the pod downloaded for the flight, so thank you all in advance. Abdul, thank you so much for listening to us for so many years. I don't know which movie you saw in New York, but that was probably with, well, you said Zach. I don't think I was there. And if you bought from me at this year's at Anime NYC, thank you so much for coming by. I don't know if we chatted, but if we did, I always like to know, if someone's even like I helped Sungwon at cons and someone says they listen to the podcast, I always try to, I want to know, who our listeners are. So thank you so much. Luckily, I wish we had more people on to give you advice, but it's just Josh and I, but Josh and I have both been to Japan. Let's start with do's and don'ts. Josh, anything come to mind for you?
Okay, so you're going in the winter time, so this probably won't apply. So I'm not as tall as Steve, but I'm quite tall. And at the time that I went, I was quite blonde. And a lot of the clothes that I brought were like short shorts because it was still kind of warm in Japan. So I couldn't have been more of like avoid this guy at all costs. Like I couldn't have been more visibly like stay away from this guy if I wanted to be.
Wow.
It was funny, I guess, like whatever. But if you don't want people to like look at you funny, then just, I don't know, dress more normal. I don't know. I didn't have any like bad experiences when I went that I would be like, don't do this. If you like, for me, I didn't own like a big suitcase. So I just bought one at the Don Quixote when I was there. So I could put all of my things I can't talk about on an all ages podcast into it. If you don't own a big suitcase, just buy one while you're there. It wasn't that expensive. And then send it back. There are services. This was a big lifesaver. There are services probably at your hotel, I guess, depending on what hotel you're staying at, that can courier your luggage to the airport, which was super great because like you have to get like across Tokyo to make your flight and whatever. And like, you don't want to carry like 3 giant suitcases on a train packed full of commuters. It's going to be unpleasant for everybody involved. So like, it wasn't that expensive to have it like couriered to the airport. So if you want to like save yourself a lot of like drama, I had a great experience with the service that I used. I didn't have any like, don't avoid this. I would probably learn really elementary Japanese just because like if you want to like order something at a cafe or like a restaurant and they don't have a lot of English or the menu isn't easy to sort of like point at, it might lubricate your experience. Besides that, yeah.
I feel like I can only say so much. I will recommend, there's a YouTube channel called Abroad in Japan. That I've watched a lot of videos of. It's a British guy named Chris who's been living in the country for a long time, and they might be a little out of date. And I think he's even said at some point like he has some videos on do's and don'ts. I recommend checking out his channel. It's fantastic. Some things might have changed a bit, but I think some of the basic etiquette is still there. I think, just be respectful.
Yeah, don't be weird.
Yeah, like don't be loud and obnoxious. I think customer service is like king in Japan. I've had some great experience, and I feel like I stress some people out too, because I'm speaking English, and I could tell obviously English is a second language for them, and I think they're always trying to be accommodating. Meanwhile, I look the way I look, so they're like, "Oh, I don't want to angry this giant," when I'm like being cool with whatever. Like I know, like I asked
lumbering giant in the middle of the cafe.
One time I just asked it. I asked to just change my hotel room from a single like king to like 2 beds, and I felt like they're being way too apologetic, and I'm like, no, it's fine. It's explaining. I think I would look up abroad in Japan. It's a great resource, better than me. I think just follow street signs. I think Tokyo, if you're using escalators, I think right side is for if you're just standing, left side is if you need to go past people. Osaka, it's reverse. I think.
Yeah, just follow the current of what everyone else is doing.
Yeah. I think it's just be respectful, and it'll get you a long way. For the most part, it's like I said, customer service is they'll treat you well. I think, I don't know, always just follow instructions. I think one of my biggest shames is when I was in Nakano Broadway shopping, and I thought, oh, it's time to pay with my card, and I placed it on, I think it was a Suica card reader, and the guy from the store was just like, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, "Sorry." And I was like, it was my second time there too, so I'm like, I should know these things, but I just saw, I'm like, oh, I think that's a credit card reader. So I would say just always just like, I think just follow the lead. And in terms of like One Piece centric things to do, you're not going to Kumamoto, so and also that's hard mode. I think that's too extreme for your first time. I don't know, I'm so bad with this. I think there's a lot of great food, and half of it is just kind of things you stumble upon.
Yeah, I didn't do any I didn't do any One Piece stuff. I didn't do any like touristy stuff really. Like I didn't even get to go to like Harajuku. I just got too busy with like, that cafe looks cool, let me sit there for 2 hours, and then before you know it, your vacation's over.
I will say Osaka has some great secondhand stores for reselling like anime merch, like figures and all that. Don't spend all your money just in Tokyo. I forget the area off the top of my head from Osaka that is kind of like their own, like they're like kind of just very anime centric stores. It's near that tower in Osaka, the radio tower. You know what I mean? That area. Oh God, I'm so bad right now. But I'd say there's some great stores there too, like Anime Jungle there. And you're probably gonna need to get another suitcase. So just saying, you should have a suitcase dedicated to just merch, because there. But yeah, just have a good time, and just be open-minded, and just be respectful, and it'll be a good time. Long-winded answer, but thank you so much for writing in. Polo Cram writes in, Marco OPP, banger chapter as always. Love how even more so than ever, Garp the Gilf and Roger the Dilf looked like Luffy and Ace respectively. I found the action a little hard to follow, but still really cool. I can't believe Oda actually named him Polo. Oh my god. Do you think Newgate and Polo were lovers? Have a great week.
I think we had a whole bit about it, so you came to the right place.
I will say the one thing that kind of bums me out about Oda's action is it's becoming just like splash pages. Like that's just the big thing. Though there was more action panels in this, But man, I don't know. I think, God, I hate to be old man talks about old One Piece. But I just remember Mr. One versus Zoro in the manga, and it's just he let that sizzle. He gave it time to cook, and it was just beautiful action. So I'm with you. Oda action's not his strong point, but man, does he when he saves it for these impact splash pages. They do have so much fucking weight and grit to them, but the step by step is not really the process is not really his thing. It's not his strong suit. I don't know if there's anything else you wanted to add.
No, I mean, yeah, I agree with what you said.
All right. Lord Palmerston, Pitt the Elder says, is Oda going to retcon Gloriosa and make her Rouge? And she just went into a coma and aged terribly after giving birth to Ace? This would explain the plot hole of how Gloriosa survived her love sickness. And the only time we canonically see Rouge was part of her face in the manga, and the other times we seen her was mostly silhouetted and looks very similar to young Gloriosa. And they even have the same type of flower in their hair.
I hate to be this guy. All of the women that Oda draws look the same. The fact that they might have a passing resemblance means nothing to me.
Yeah.
If I have to guess, I think it's sort of like how Eris appeared literally out of nowhere off the page, and that's what's going to be Rouge. I don't think it seems like he doesn't have to retcon.
No. We did see more of her in the manga. She wasn't just a silhouette. When Ace was born, there's the shot of her cradling baby Ace. We see a lot more of her in the anime, which is more like implied filler. But I don't. It's too much. I think part of the gag is just Gloriosa just can't get a man. But it's the thing. She's a 10 in any other circumstance, but she's just swimming with sharks who all look the same and are also 10s.
So true.
So,
the burden of being a 10 surrounded by 10s.
Yeah.
I relate.
I think that would be really stupid.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think he has to. You can just be like, okay, this is just another lady that that hooked up with Roger or whatever.
Sometimes you date outside your circle, and I think it's a good thing. I encourage it. It keeps you grounded. Priminotar writes, hey OPP, now that the rocks part of this flashback seems to be finished, who was your favorite Glup Valley Shido? I'm picking Gil Bastar, because every panel of him looks like he farted and no one realized it was him. Who's our Glup Shidos? I mean, is Shiki a Glup Shido?
He got his own movie.
That's the thing. Yeah. He's too well known. He's not obscure enough. That's the thing. Everyone in the Rocks Pirates is so high profile. Right. So it's, but I think Gil Bastar is one of the few characters that didn't really have much dialogue. Barbell had a few lines, but didn't say much. Oh God. I don't know if I have any random ass favorites here.
I'm going to reframe this question because I only remember characters who are of note. Sorry. But I'm going to reframe this question slightly and say, which character did I enjoy the most during this flashback? To which I say, I already spoke about how I enjoyed almost all of them except for Polo. But the one that I enjoyed a lot was Shaki, because I feel like she was just really fun. And there's this great Oda box or whatever that's I'm paraphrasing, but it's something like, the Kuja pirates, they have the love of all of the salty dogs of the sea, and they're trading. There's even a bounty for their posters to be passed among pirates. And I'm like, it sucks to see people living your dreams. So it's nice to see. I liked her in this. She was really fun. I liked her.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I the first chapter that introduced like these characters into this flashback, I really enjoyed Shaki and Gloriosa. Like, I don't know, like Gloriosa's kind of becoming like my new Margaret, where I'm like, I don't know, she's beautiful. She deserves more. So I don't know, I do. That's the thing. Like all the other characters so well known that I can't think of them as Glepshidos. I mean, like Gloriosa's pretty damn important too. God,
I did.
I'm sorry.
Did like the moment where like I don't know if this is a meaningfully different character. I guess I don't know. I don't care. Like where Stussy was like trying to get Whitebeard's attention, and he's like, "I don't care about you. Leave me alone." And then like she keeps being like, I don't know. Like we had seen before that like she proposed. She has the son of Whitebeard or whatever. But it's just funny to watch him like shut her down. I liked that. It was amusing.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. Glorious is pretty entertaining. I think she's gonna be my pick for now. And Wispy writes, "Hey, OPP, do you believe Rox is actually dead in the present day? Would you be upset if he was revealed to be alive? Is Rockstar ever going to be relevant to Rox? Has anyone's arc end prediction been foiled yet?" I don't even know what my arc end prediction was. Like, I talking Elbaf. It feels like, I don't know, Elbaf feels like it's going to be like a loss for the Straw Hats. I think
that's interesting.
This could kind of be like the penultimate arc before like this big final battle, I will say. Because I think in any story, kind of your main characters kind of have to be like at their lowest before, things pick up again and you reach a climax. Is Rox actually dead? Let's hope. I don't know. I just want Blackbeard to have agency. That's the thing. I want Blackbeard to be his own character.
I think it is narratively, I don't know if vital is the word I would choose. I think it's narratively important that Rox is dead. I think if he's alive, it undoes pretty much everything that I cared about with regards to Garp and Roger and Rox's roles as like this triumvirate of a previous generation. I already talked about how like I enjoyed this sort of off the page sorrow that you could feel in that final fight with the Domi Reversi Rox. If he's not dead, it sort of takes all of the wind out of those particular sails. I think they have to kill people at this point. That's why I'm like, there are people that we're going to lose. I think before the story ends, I think Garp is one of, I think pretty much anyone who's like old has to die for the new world to be born. Yeah, I mean, if he's not dead, I think that's a big problem.
Like, how did you feel about Saul being alive? I forget if you ever really talked about that.
I mean, we got Robin's haircut back, so for that, it's worth it.
He deserves it. He deserves to be alive.
Yeah, if we got her iconic bangs back, so it's fine. Yeah, I mean, I don't think that Saul is quite as narratively important that he died. I'm trying to think of other characters like this is obviously not as big of a deal. Like if Roger is alive somewhere, that's a big fucking problem. But like if there's any character we understand to be because people don't die in One Piece. So like anyone who is dead, I think is dead for a pretty narratively vital reason. And if they end up being not dead, I think that you have done a bad thing to your story.
Well said. All right. All right. That takes care of this piece. We did get some emails. I wasn't on last week's episode. Hopefully I'm just covering ones that haven't been answered. If I missed if any that have like fell into the ether and have never been responded to, I apologize. Feel free to send those in again.
Email Zach in particular. It's Zach's fault in particular.
And it's usually Zach here, but I'm going to start with this one. This one is from Seth, and he writes, "Hi OPP. When the One Piece manga eventually reaches its conclusion, I suspect that Shueisha will have a strong desire to keep publishing OP-related content of some sort, like they've done with Dragon Ball Super and Boruto, for example. What type of spin-off, sequel, etc. do you think we are most likely to see, and what would you each personally be most interested in? Personally, I would love to see some previously unseen slice of life stories of the Straw Hats' daily life at sea. Even if it has to be non-canon to fit within the existing story. Thanks, Seth. I did mention earlier, I think like this era of the Roger Pirates is just ripe for spin-off material, and it's the one I'm most, it has the characters I like the most. Your thoughts, Josh?
You guys are gonna hate this answer. None, no more. There's nothing I want to see. If there was to be, I think you're right, listener, that like Shueisha is obviously going to want to keep making money off of One Piece. If I don't know, like if Oda wants to like keep making, I don't even know how this would work because it's not like a sort of thing that makes sense to create. But if he were to keep making like color walks, I would enjoy those. If it's like narrative, I'm done. Like there's nothing else of One Piece I'm going to want when this is over.
I like that answer.
Yeah, because like I mean that gives me sort of like the spin-off feel. Like I mean what I love about these illustrations is that like, oh, they've gone to a polar bear / watermelon based island and they're doing polar bear and watermelon stuff, and it's like, oh, that's sort of cute, but I don't have to know about it in any way that's like that would like sort of tell me anything. I really can't think of any other material I would want to see.
I don't know. Like you could maybe accuse us of it being like a cop out answer, because I don't know. I the way I feel is sometimes I'm like, everything has an ending, and especially in this day and age, like where sorry, and this is two guys working in the entertainment industry where I don't think there's a whole lot of opportunities for new stories and new narratives right now. We're seeing so many reboots and just the constant use of well-known IPs. Dragon Ball is one of my favorite things. When I got into Dragon Ball, I knew it ended already, and it was kind of just like, you know what? Enjoy this while we got it.
Yeah.
And I think that was with One Piece too. Like, yeah, there's so many, things we hear about that we're never going to see the story of, but your imagination is a wonderful thing, and sometimes things are just best left to your imagination instead of finding out Trafalgar Law met the dad of both Penguin and Chachi, and that's why Penguin and Chachi are on the crew.
Yeah, I mean, like, I don't know, like for me, I think One Piece is, I mean, for my money, I think One Piece is the greatest adventure story that I know of. Right, it's the one that has the most personal meaning to me. It's the one that I think is the finest in terms of meeting all of the themes that it sets out to address. But I would love there to be a new adventure story by somebody different. Like, I mean, Oda doesn't have to stop working if he doesn't want to, but like, I mean, I want like there to be a new adventure story for new people to enjoy. Like, I mean, my time on this earth is finite. It doesn't have to be full of One Piece. I want there to be new things for new children to enjoy. I don't know. I'm sorry. It's not a fun answer. I just don't have anything else I want to see.
And I think like there's so much One Piece. Just go back and do it. But I could see them like, I can see Law getting a spinoff.
Yeah.
But even though that's such like a departure from like the tone of the Straw Hats, Ace, the Spade Pirates is another, because it's popular characters. They're gonna, if it's Shueisha, they're gonna want to go with a character that's a hook, and I could see it with Ace or Law. But me personally, I wouldn't mind seeing some Roger Pirate stuff, but I don't know. I'm full. I'm good with just what One Piece has given me. So sorry if it's a cop out there, but
yeah,
not alone there.
Sorry, this is old man hour. We're just like,
it's truly old men and like I always think, like, God, like old men in the Grand Line. The old man in the Grand Line is how I feel. Because also, I'm getting older, and I've been a One Piece fan for over 20 years. It's like it can't follow me to the grave. But okay, all right. So then we have another piece together here. This one is from Cole. He writes, "Hey folks, thanks for all your insights every week. I had a couple different thoughts recently. I'd love to hear yours on. Number one, could D possibly stand for Davy? I thought it was interesting that in 1164, Emu repeatedly referred to Rox as Davy, despite Rox clarifying earlier that he wasn't Davy Jones. And with the new mystery of Davy's promise, could D represent all those who have somehow inherited Davy's will?" Why don't we just start answering that first? I could see it happening, but I don't know.
Like, I guess, man. I mean, you're gonna hate this answer too. I think the will of D, I think, is one of the least compelling parts of One Piece. Like, you can just name anybody D, right?
Oh boy, this is truly old piece week.
Yeah, I don't care really.
I hate to be this guy because it's not compelling. Maybe it's not the best podcast because One Piece thrives on the internet with theory crafting and all this stuff and all this deep lore explanations. It's the part of One Piece I care about the least.
Yeah, I mean, again, like, seriously, no shade. If you're like a big theory crafter, like, we often get questions about people like asking what our predictions are, and I'm like, I don't. Yeah. That's not how I take in the story. I don't try to predict anything. It's just not what I do.
I remember a coworker a year ago, and I could tell he was just into like theories and probably watching YouTube videos. He's like, "How's Luffy gonna defeat Kaido? Like, but look at Kaido. How's Luffy gonna defeat him?" And I said, "He's gonna punch him really hard. That's what he's gonna do." I mean, I wouldn't have predicted
Gear 5,
Looney Tunes Gear 5, but then I would expect him like, well, I guess he'll have an upgrade or something. But like there's no like, oh, but like Kaido does a hockey and all that. I was like, there's no science to it. Luffy's gonna punch him really hard at an emotional peak.
Yeah. Again, like, seriously, like, no shade if that's the way you engage with the story. It's just not how I do it.
No.
And so like, same. So like, when like the will, like, to me, it's just a middle name. Like, it doesn't have a, if it was like people were all born with like the same birthmark, okay, I'm like, maybe that would be more interesting, right? It's like something that is just part and parcel of your being, but a name is a name.
Yeah.
If I wanted to, I could change my middle name to D. It's anybody would have that power. So like, it's just not a concept I'm compelled by. So I don't have an answer to what I think about it, I guess.
And it's strange because we've had people in the Navy with the middle initial, so it can't just be like, oh, you have a D's your middle name, we got to execute you. So it was more captivating when it was first name dropped, like when it was first mentioned in Drum and then Alabasta, and we only knew like a few people. But now it's like it is kind of overdone. I think like when Law was revealed to be a D, I was like, are we getting a little carried away
D
here?
Too far.
No, D, yeah. It's I'm sorry to reveal in like the 16th year of this podcast. I'm like, yeah, I'm not too crazy about it. Also, that's never been my strong suit, and what I respond to with One Piece has always just been the characters, the relationship between them, the unique art style. Because one of the things that just drew me to One Piece was just because I love my Western cartoons and I like anime, and One Piece was such a great blend of that. I was drawn to that. Everything else came afterwards. Like, I just loved the connection of these characters and just the trauma they went through and the emotional highs of arcs. And yeah, I don't know, like the other, like the lore was kind of just a plus.
Yeah.
But I'd say everyone's different, and I'm not going to knock anybody.
Totally.
But I also don't. Not that I run into this, but I think like if anyone is trying to pitch One Piece with the lore.
Yeah.
One Piece's pitch used to be it's a pirate in a straw hat, and he wants to be the best pirate of them all, and he could stretch like rubber, but he can't swim. Like, it used to be it's like it feels like, I don't know, do anime and manga still kind of have that pitch, like one sentence, like here's the gimmick, and like that sounds kind of interesting. feel like nowadays people are like, well, okay, so it's about this character. It was actually a descendant of this person, and then he's got to go around and finding all the blah blah blahs and hoobity doos, and I'm like,
yeah,
what's it? Yeah, I'm like, why?
Yeah. I mean, one thing I just want to add really briefly to what you said is because I absolutely agree. I think the look is so amazing and unique. I mean, love it or hate it, I guess. I mean, it's the characters are like the crown jewel of One Piece for sure. But I think like what One Piece does that no other, even like shonen manga of my generation, because I'm old as fuck, right? But like even the ones when I was a kid, what I think One Piece sets apart is that like it's the struggle of people against each other. Like in other anime, like in Naruto and Bleach, they were fighting, of course, and there were even some fights that were very good. But like One Piece uniquely felt like a struggle. And I think what's important is that pretty much every arc you have people who are struggling feudally. Like I mean, just off the top of my head, like, I mean, I always think of the reason why Alabasta is my favorite is there's this whole background that's completely background of a fucking civil war in the middle of the desert where like this, you know, the Kosa's like this revolutionary who's trying to like do the, you know, what's best. And he's struggling against not only the king, but also Crocodile. And it's like what One Piece does so special is just this struggle of people trying to achieve their dreams or what they believe in. So off topic, I understand, but like the lore, I mean, like I love learning about the world, but like the nitty gritty of the lore isn't really why I come back.
Yeah, it's more like a bonus. I feel like this could be a whole podcast to talk about this, but. I to actually answer your question, not just be a poo-poo on it. I'm curious now that, especially because like Davy Jones is apparently like, you know, the rival to Emu and probably his equal in terms of influence and strength. It's interesting, but I feel like it's almost kind of just, it's like, oh, but and I think you mentioned this earlier, Josh. Like, but I thought Joy Boy was that. So
yeah.
what, you know. I don't know. The thing is, with One Piece, we've had so many like breadcrumbs and just like and just little bits of mystery dropped through the series, and now we're getting the answers to them, and it just feels like too much of a rush, and it's kind of, I don't know. Like I said, I think this is a conversation that really deserves a lot more time, and I don't want to yuck anyone's yum. I think this is just the week where you pick two people who are like, I don't know, man. We're in it for the wonderful characters and the beautiful artwork. Yeah. Everything else is just a plus. But they do have another question here. They said, I've also been thinking about what may be Blackbeard's most famous scene thus far. Back in Jaya, when he declared that people's dreams never die. What prompted him to say such a thing? Could it be that as a member of the Davy clan, as a child, could it be that as a member of the Davy clan, as a child of Davy, a child of Davy's will / promise was somehow instilled in him? When he said that, was he thinking of a specific dream? Davy's? Well, we don't know the answer for that, but I will say what's so great about that scene about Blackbeard is like, yeah, he's a bad guy, but he's still like, he's similar to Luffy,
exactly.
Where he's a dreamer. And he believes in just the romance of adventure and just following your dreams and doing whatever it takes to accomplish them. It just doesn't line up with Luffy.
Yeah,
and that's what's so great about it.
My Killjoy answer to this question, I'm so sorry to do this. I mean, it's just that he's Luffy's narrative foil. That's why Blackbeard is compelling at all, is because like we get to see the anti-Luffy in all effect, right? Yeah. Like he has had the same sort of blustering ability to craft his reality from nothing. And
that's such a great phrase right there, what you just said.
Yeah. And so I agree with you, listener, that like, yeah, when I think of Blackbeard, I think of Jaya too. Like, I mean, all of his stuff on Full Olet, I don't think about at all. And this is why I hope we don't sort of ruin that purity of Blackbeard, because it is, I think, interesting to see somebody who has a similar worldview to Luffy, but without Luffy's sort of, inherent ability to want to empower people to take control of the circumstances. Like if Blackbeard has all the same attributes, but he wishes only to like oppress and control, then that's an interesting balance. And I hope that Oda doesn't lose that going forward.
Exactly. Yeah. Like for sure, he's probably also including his dream, and it might be related to the Davy clan. Like I said earlier, I want Blackbeard to have his own agency. I don't want it to just be like, oh, he's the reincarnation of Rocks, or Rocks is possessing him or something like that. It's just that, I don't know. It's like Blackbeard's just like a little more chaotic and messed up.
Yeah.
But what I like about Blackbeard is like, yeah, anyone should chase their dream. I'm like, mine's just this, you know? And I think we've talked about this in the past where he's like, oh, I want to turn Full Lead into a country. And some people, and I think some members of the podcast are like, is that all? Really? Then that's it? But who knows? That could just be a front for something. But I think that's what is to it. Like it's not necessarily making a villain sympathetic, but just, you know, they're ambitious too.
Yeah.
You know, and I like that. I don't like, oh God, even I was weeks ago saying like, oh, I wish Rocks was just a bad dude. You know, like, you know, and I think I'm like, yeah, I've changed my mind obviously because that's not what he is. And like, this doesn't make Blackbeard sympathetic. It just makes him interesting.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, absolutely. It gives him roundness to him. I mean, this is going to go totally against what I just said about like theory crafting, what's going to happen. But like, I mean, I think what we're talking about now is why I think the series sort of has to end with Luffy and Blackbeard, because like Luffy and Emu could be any show, not One Piece. Luffy and Shanks will happen. I think it needs to emotionally happen, but Shanks doesn't fill that role of like final obstacle. I think it has to be Luffy and Blackbeard because they're meaningfully emotionally opposite in a way that Shanks and Emu aren't.
Yeah. I'm really hoping for it, and I think with the Harley, with the mural, it makes me think like, oh, everyone's gonna be fighting Emu. I was talking with a friend of the show, Daniel Dockery. He kind of hit me up out of the blue, and we're just like sharing our One Piece opinions. And I don't want to speak for him and throw him under the bus, but he said he's like, I don't know, like Daniel was not really like all that captivated by Emu because Emu was introduced so late into the story. And I feel like Oda's been doing that more and more, and it's like I don't know, it's like I yeah, and I think there's something you just said, like Luffy fighting Emu, it's like it's the big bad, good, and versus, you know, good guy versus like the baddest guy around. I love the idea of the Straw Hat Pirates going against the Blackbeard Pirates because it's the opposite, you know, and I'd rather see two people who had to start from nothing and work their way up and fighting each other instead of just, you know, of course, pure evil. Like, of course you're gonna fight and defeat pure evil. I just like this. It comes down to just two people, and it's about who wants it more and who's stronger. And also, I want all the Straw Hats to get individual fights.
Oh my God, bring it back! You know, I mean, absolutely, I would see Luffy and Blackbeard not necessarily like making an alliance like they did with Law, but like Luffy and Blackbeard have a mutual enemy with Emu for sure. So like, I think eventually, however long this takes, I think eventually they are going to be on functionally the same side against Emu, and Luffy and Shanks is their own thing, that is their own business. But I think there's no way to end it that isn't Luffy and Blackbeard. They are two complete opposites. They're both ideologues. I think it has to end that way. I hope.
I just think it's more of an interesting story than just the destined hero of good versus evil. I don't know. I wish I could speak of this more clearly. But I just like Blackbeard as just the whole idea of him, and it goes back to Jaya. Like, just what a great introduction to this character who turns out to be like this huge villain. It's just so unsuspecting. It's wonderful, and I don't know, I'd be more invested in that because Blackbeard's been around longer, you know. And Emu, we still don't know what Emu is, but hell, I'm not really known for predicting One Piece. I'm kind of glad, you know, because it ruined the series for me. If I saw everything coming, I don't know, half the shit happening in the series now, I would have never suspected. So but I kind of hope that Oda just like, you don't have to keep adding all these ingredients to what's already just a great like what's already like a very tasty broth on its own. You don't have to overload it, you know. But anywho, and then our last one here. Sorry, the way your name is spelled out, I don't know how to pronounce, so I do apologize. And they might have written it before. We're recording. They said, not sure, I was doing something wrong, or my last two emails not to be read on air. I apologize too. I haven't listened, so maybe they just didn't get around to the email portion of the piece together. So don't fret. I don't think you did anything wrong. It might have been a timing issue. They said, I'll just add that doing a film adaptation of something we haven't gotten to see in the manga would be interesting. Rocky Port Incident, Zebek's Davy backfights, Ace's light novel material, etc. I'd be curious to hear other ideas from everyone on such movie ideas. P.S. The Kuja cast and Davy backfights ruled. On to the 600s. I believe this is someone who's listening to the podcast from episode 1 onwards, and feet shuffling is loud.
With the cat.
Yes. Oh, we have podcasting to do.
I don't.
Important nerd business.
An
Yeah.
adorable cat on you right now.
Oh
shit. No.
I'll go ahead and take over.
Just you and Josh.
Sure. I think that the Rocky Port incident would make a fantastic movie. Because like until now we've had this sort of like these are like the do kids still know about Calvin and Hobbes, like the noodle incident of One Piece, right? You had
I think that's some Alex or Joey have said before.
Yeah, I mean you've had the God Valley incident and the Rocky Port incident that are like in hushed tones more or less in the manga as these like incredible acts in history. And I think that after seeing the God Valley flashback, I am inspired or like hopeful that there would be a good sort of like resolution or like a good raison d'etre for the Rocky Port incident. I think that would be a great idea because I don't know that it has to be in the story. Like we know that Kobe is now like hot Kobe is real. I don't know that I need to know why in the source material, but I would love to see it in a movie where the stakes are lower for me. So yeah, I think you knocked it out of the park. I'd love to see a Rocky Port movie.
Yeah, I apologize for the upteenth time about not listening to last week's episode. So I guess this was brought up about doing a spin-off movie because that's all the rage now. Well, all the rage now is doing these arc movies. Not necessarily Shueisha, but Demon Slayer, hugely successful movie that's a canon story arc. And I just saw the Chainsaw Man movie, the Reze arc, and I think it's just like if you want to see that canon arc, you got to watch the movie, and I guess the TV series is just going to continue off of that. It's like Transformers.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of used to that. And I think some people are traditionalists and they're like, no, you can't do that. One Piece would never. But also I think some of us never thought that One Piece would go seasonal, the anime, and now it is. It's just strictly talking, entertainment industry expert talking here. Shueisha is definitely looking at the success of these movies. You can't tell me they're not looking at the success of these movies and being like, should we be doing the same thing? Because like One Piece movies will do well, and they do okay in Japan as far as I know. Film Red was a huge success. But I think Film Red had its finger on the pulse on things that were popular.
VTubers.
VTubers, Otto. It tapped into the cultural zeitgeist and it did well. And I think, because Film Gold wasn't as hot, but I think that was also when Pokemon Go just took the world by storm, and Stampede did okay. But there's not urgency to see these movies because it's just, nothing. They could tie as much as they can in the canon, but we all know it's not really gonna mean anything, even though Stampede kind of just dropped a bunch of things, important things that would wind up happening later in the manga, or Film Red too, because Film Red is when we see when Roger and Rayleigh find Shanks, and that still hasn't even happened in the manga. That's about to. I wouldn't be opposed to, like, if just doing spin-offs, why not? But I think, like, the big thing everyone's saying is, like, you can't do a One Piece movie without the Straw Hats. And I don't know.
You can calm down. There's so many guys I like outside of them at this point. You can.
I could see them shooting their shot with this. I do think the God Valley incident is, like, ripe for, like, a movie adaptation. Like, this is perfect, and you could really expand on this a little bit more and give characters more time to cook. But I think it would just mess up with the anime. But I don't know if they would do, like, they did it with, like, Dragon Ball, like Battle of Gods, Resurrection F, or then it adapted into the TV series, except, adapted terribly, mind you. But I'm trying to think, because they suggested, like, the Zebek stuff. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I was like, I could think of. I'm like, this is what I want to see. Nothing's really coming to me.
Yeah.
I feel like Rocky Port, I think we're going to get a little, like, when Kobe reaches his, like, pivotal moment in the series, and I don't know what that looks like, whether that's like taking on Luffy or something. Like, Kobe's gonna have this big moment before the series ends, and I think that is when we're gonna cut to, like, not like a full flashback, but like mini little, like, kind of like what Kuzan and Garp had. We're gonna get that with Kobe. We're gonna see the Rocky Port incident there. One Piece is a long series. We were talking about earlier how we don't need to see spin-offs. And we'd rather just, and with that being the case, like, with One Piece, like, One Piece has plenty of movies.
Yeah. I was about to say, like, in order, like, to tie these two questions together, like, if you wanted to keep, I mean, this, I guess, doesn't directly benefit Shueisha's, like, publishing industry, but, like, if you were to keep making One Piece movies, I would keep going to see them. Like, if it was just like, oh, this takes place somewhere post time skip. Sure, they go to an island that's just, like, about chickens or what. I don't care, like, whatever. Like, they fight, like, another. I don't care. You could do as many of those as you want. I don't care about those.
Yeah. The problem is, like, filler arcs are dead now.
Yeah.
And, like, I mean, not like there isn't money that goes into TV, but, like, a lot of money has to go into film producing, and they want to make that money back. Like, movies are made to make money when it comes down to it. And I don't think that's a guarantee. Like, just like the One Piece, like, a nice quiet day at home with the Straw Hats is not gonna just rake in the dough.
Oh, no, absolutely. I'm just saying, like, what would formalistically work for me in terms of a spinoff without interrupting anything. It would be just like movies where they're like, that are like 95 minutes long, and they're fighting a guy who everybody exists in One Piece. A guy who was a mouse. I don't care. Like that's what I want to see, right?
A guy who was a mouse. It's just not going to happen anymore.
Yeah.
They saw how successful, like, no one's going to just see how successful Demon Slayer was and just be like, well, no, we're just keep doing our own thing. No. So they want to make money.
Yeah. So I mean, I think the optimal way to sort of balance this sort of, like, canon fill out while also getting people in seats, I think, listener, your idea of, like, Rocky Port, or if there's other incidents that I just don't even remember them, like, sideways mentioning, I think that's probably the only way you could do it. Yeah, I don't know.
For sure. All right. And just bear with me just a little bit longer. We got one more segment and piece together, and then we'll take it home. We're gonna go over to Blue Sky, and we're gonna read your questions using the hashtag BlueSkyPia. Though some of you didn't use it, but you replied to the post I made anyway. So
how did we talk so much for two people?
I know, right? Well, we haven't been on in a while, and, like, you and I, like, wax poetic and stuff, and and Alex had some mishaps here, so we had to. There was a lot of waiting in between certain portions of this recording. But let's get to Blue Sky P here. Let's see. Luke writes, if you had to pick a dinosaur type Zoan devil fruit, what dinosaur are you picking? And I'm using dinosaur in the colloquial term. What does that mean?
Like the colloquial dinosaur, I guess is like just anything prehistoric. You don't have to be correct about it. I'm guessing that's what they mean by that. I would want to be some sort of... Wait, does it have to exist? Is there a Stegosaurus one? I like Stegosaurus. That's my favorite dinosaur. No, Ankylosaurus, the ones with the giant like ball on the end of their tail that they could like hit things with. That's what I want to be. I don't think it's in the story, but that's what I want.
I don't think there is a Stegosaurus one. I think that one would be cool. I'm gonna steal that answer just because I don't want to use an existing one, and I don't want to just pick the the Poochie, the T-Rex. So
I vote the little guys in Jurassic Park that spit venom.
The hooded lizards.
I want a devil fruit like that.
Yeah. Okay. Get out of here. And stop laughing. Close the door if you're going to laugh. NB's Lobby writes, really interesting that Roger describes Emu as a black monster. Makes me think more about the potential of Gunko having something to do with the devil's tail that killed Cobra. And it feels like the possibilities are endless right now for theories. And you picked the wrong two people to talk about it.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like... I mean, okay, we've seen that Emu can possess any of the elders and Gunko, right? So like it seems like they must all share something. Maybe they've like given part of their soul, for lack of a better term, to Emu, and therefore he's able to like project himself through them, or whatever. Yeah, I mean, I think that guess is as good as anything. Like if like Gunko and the elders and like maybe other characters we've yet to see are like Emu acolytes, then yeah, I mean, I think it's sure.
I don't think that was Gunko's powers though. That's with Sabo and Cobra there, because like Emu, it's like it's not subtle. Like he's like the devil. Like when we see him possess, with the Domi reverse here, when he possesses Gunko, it's wings, horns, pitchforks, all that, or whatever the hell it is, tridents, pick, whatever you fancy. So it's like it's a devil tail. I think that's what it is. It'd be weird for that to be like, and then I just decided to possess Gunko to walk into the room and do this. Nah, I think it's just that's the devil tail. But I'll eat my hat, I guess, if I'm wrong. Ice Fisher Tenacity writes, "Holy cow! I love Garp's move, Infinitum Explosion. I use the term ad infinitum a lot. I was curious about Roger's move. Is Ace the name of the fire god, or is it the fire god's ace in the hole, like how Roger's sword is his own ace? Regarding this critical mass conquerors hockey, I like to think that the user, thanks Jupiter, I like to think that the user puts so much willpower into their attack that the very output itself of hockey is what caused more and more energy to be drawn from the body until they're completely drained and incapacitated. I feel incapacitated after reading all that." Sorry. There's a fire god?
Yeah.
Did I miss a week?
I feel okay. I could be wrong. I thought that the listener was asking if the way that the Stephen Paul translated this was to mean that the name of the fire god Ace, is the name, or if this is the ace of the fire god. But since neither of us are Stephen Paul, I don't have any insight into that for you. I'm sorry.
And I'm sorry I read that so disjointedly. In terms of like your second question here, yeah, I mean, I feel like it is what it is. Like, yeah, we use so much hockey, we exhausted ourselves.
Yeah, I didn't go into this after the recap. I really hated that moment. It was so like, I think Steve, you called it like Dragon Ball Z. There was such like a numerical fashion to it, where it's like, oh, if we use this hockey, it will counteract that hockey, and that's not the way that I like conceptualize One Piece fights.
We have to go further beyond.
Yeah,
not that wasn't word for word, but it's so it's Stevie Z code.
Yeah, again, if that's the way that you enjoy it, that's totally fine. I'm just speaking from my own experience here. I didn't enjoy that. It seemed like a lot of words to say, let's hit him together at the same time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
because like I mean we know for a fact that neither Garp nor Roger die exhausting themselves to kill rocks. So it's just like, oh, here's an idea. Let's use a lot of hockey to hit him together. Would have done the same thing without all of this sort of like technical language that doesn't fit to me. It's just a personal preference. I didn't like that scene.
I think just like this the manipulation of hockey and all that, it just really kind of just it structure things a little bit too much. When I don't know, I miss old man One Piece here. It's like I miss when Luffy just was able to beat up Crocodile because his fists were bloody.
No, seriously, I've said this so many times on the show about how much I love that Luffy just like, or maybe it's whoever, they all rinse Mr. 3, just absolutely savage that guy, gets his ass whooped like in 2 different arcs. And then like, but Mr. 3 is like the only guy who's immune to Magellan and Impel Down just because of the unique quirk of his ability. Yeah. And that is what I love about One Piece. It's just like, oh, you bring back this fucking guy who sucks from like 17 arcs ago, but he's good against in this one particular circumstance, just as like a nature of his ability. That was the shit that kept me locked the fuck in. I don't want to know. I don't want to know about numbers. Yeah. Don't tell me a number.
Yeah, it's more like I like, you know, a little bit of puzzle solving more with these fights rather than just, well, I just got to I just got to make my fist even harder.
Yeah, or like Nami versus Khalifa.
Whatever context you want.
Like Nami versus Khalifa, it was like all about like bubbles and electricity. I don't know. It was just so good, man.
Nami's fights used to be more about strategy. Now it's just spam lightning bolt. And we said that again. And I'm sorry if this is complaining, but you got to see where we're coming from here.
We're old. We get it.
Yeah. And then our last one's going to be from Aiden. Y'all took a question about a potential God Valley movie last week, which begs a follow-up. Would they really make an entire One Piece movie without Luffy and the Straw Hats? Maybe they could frame it as somebody who was there telling them the story. Really, I should have tied this into our previous discussion here. And like, I just want to make sure you were heard. We read this, and I think they could, but I think I'll speak as a Western like One Piece fan from observation. I think Western fans are eating this shit up right now. They like, I think Rocks has become very popular. They love Shanks, so I could see them being all for this. I think maybe, I don't know what it's like in other parts of the world. Maybe they're more attached to the Straw Hats, and maybe people truly are more attached to the Straw Hats, and we don't quite realizing it. I think, I don't know. I think American fans would eat this up.
I definitely do agree that I think it would gross less than like a Luffy focused feature for sure. Like definitely it's much more of a financial risk. However, I think the idea that it wouldn't have an audience is completely untrue. I think that at this point in the game, there are so many supporting characters that are beloved by all different kinds of fans. So like, would they do it? Can't say, because you couldn't bank on Luffy in that case, which, is not great for an investor or like a producer or whatever. Would it find love? I think so, because everybody has supporting characters that they love. I would love, like, this is just me or whatever, I would love to see like a Smoker and Tashigi movie. Nobody would be there but me, but I love Smoker and Tashigi. I know,
I'd be right there. Because we don't get
enough. We don't get enough. I haven't seen them in ages, and there are so many like groups in this series. I feel that way about. Like, I would totally watch a Roger Pirates movie. I would totally watch a Rocks Pirates movie. I would watch movies about probably, really, frankly, any of the major pirate crews. So like, would they do it? I could see them deciding it would be too much of a financial gamble. Would they find an audience? I think they would.
But are we kind of? Are we being hypocritical? Because before, when we said, "Oh, we don't want to see any spin-offs," but we're also saying we'd be there.
I am completely consistent. If you're going to do a spin-off, the 90-minute movie is the only genre for it. I don't want to read a spin-off manga. I don't want to read a new story. If you are going to like do supplemental material, I think an encapsulated movie that is over in 90 minutes is the only way that I would personally, from my own experience, be interested. I don't want to see a Boruto from One Piece. Sorry.
Yeah, as I see what you mean. Yeah, I think I'd be more for that, like some specials.
Yeah,
I mean,
a special.
That's kind of how I feel about that's how I feel like about Dragon Ball at this point. And I'm like, I don't want to see another series. Like Daima was fine, but like I don't know, some movies. Though I think Daima would have worked better as a movie.
Sure. Yeah.
I kind of like, yeah, just maybe like a new movie. You know?
Yeah.
I think I just said I don't need to see it. Sorry, I'm covering my ass because I feel like I just said I've seen plenty of One Piece movies. I don't need to see any more. But it's more like, if I could save my ass here, I think at this point I put so much time into One Piece, and I don't have that time like I used to. So I am not ready to buy 100+ more volumes of something. But if it's just every now, it's almost like a family reunion.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, if I just have to just show up somewhere like once a year.
Yeah. I mean, to put it succinctly, I would take in things that are not canon, that are one-off adventures. It's an extension to canon that I'm not interested in. What we're getting is going to be all that I care about.
Mm-hmm. But these studios, the big thing is they want to attract, they want to make new fans. They always want to make new fans. And I think this pitch for One Piece, it'd be a tougher sell and be like, oh, I haven't read I haven't watched One Piece. It's like, what should I like? Why should I see this? Like, what should I know? And it's the problem with God Valley. It's so much name dropping where it's kind of like, oh, you got to do your homework, which is, I'll also steal from Daniel Dockery. It's like, it's like sometimes these arcs feel like there's homework.
Yeah.
You know, we were of the same opinion. I think a good flashback, and of course, like these, like it's hard to judge One Piece flashbacks because they're so tied to the arc they're in. But I think some of the best One Piece flashbacks, you can watch them out of context, and the story within those is good enough. I think with, you know, Kuma's flashback maybe a little bit. With God Valley, it's like you got to do your homework. You got to know who these people are.
Oh my God. Yeah. I had to like Google a couple. Yeah. I'll be so for real because okay, this, I don't want to get off topic. The Stussy that's part of Cypher Pole is like a clone, right? Of the original one.
Well, sorry. Sorry, because I think I never corrected you I forgot too, because they look the same, but Stussy is the clone, but that is Miss Bucket.
Right. Okay. Because I know they weren't exactly the same person, but one of them is like the new one is like a clone of her, right? Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
I've read the manga. You can tell.
Easy to forget. No, even I forgot too. So I'll give you that. Yeah. I'm a One Piece lifer. You know, you make a new One Piece movie, I will see it. But I think these studios, these companies, they're factoring in, they want to put as many butts in seats as possible, not just the diehards. So that's why this, there's a lot of skepticism here. So who knows? But I know I wouldn't be surprised if they're not thinking about it. So, alrighty. Wow, that's gonna do it for Piece Together.
The yappers.
A lot to cover. Yeah. Wow, it's like who needs a podcast with 6 people on it when you can have the same amount of discussion with 2?
Yeah, where every question that comes in, we're like, I don't care about this. This sucks, actually.
I'm curious what the response will be to this podcast, but
we love you guys. We promise.
We love you guys. No, thank you for writing in. We always want to give you the most well thought out answers. I think, you give us enough of your time, listen to the show, and give us your time writing these things.
For sure.
You deserve our time. So thank you so much. All right, Josh, let's round off this very small but very big podcast. This has been the One Piece Podcast, episode 892, November 10th, 2025. It was a good one.
Yeah, it was packed.
I would say
it was packed.
Apologies if you guys were hoping for insight from Steven, references from Ed, all the
Organization from Zach.
Yeah. Organization. It was like I said at the beginning of the show, it was a real skeleton crew, but I appreciate both Alex and Josh for stepping in and helping me out here, because I was almost prepared. I was going to do a solo show.
Have you ever done that before?
No, it would be weird. I think the one time I did something on my own, it was an April Fool's Sanji's Cool podcast. And like the joke was it was
just by yourself. Yeah.
But I was willing, because I was like, you know what the hell? I'll just, one man show here and I'll just vamp, for a bit. But I really appreciate you guys making time. It was great, especially because neither of us have been on the show in a bit. So we really got to it. Instead of us being like, yeah, that's another fun chapter, I guess. We really kind of got to let out some steam that we haven't been able to do in quite a while. So in terms of some podcast news, I apologize for not posting the next Sticker Club poll yet. Just been busy, but that's going to come. I try not to overload our Patreon in a single day with a bunch of posts, so I don't want people to miss it. So I think this episode's going to go up, on Patreon, and then expect the poll in the next day or so, just so it doesn't lose track. But I think I have my picks ready to go, and I'll probably leave the poll up for a week, so make sure you vote, and I'll do my best to get the word out there. Thank you so much for your patience on that, and thanks for supporting us. And we've gotten a few more people signed up for the tier, so that's exciting. And just stay tuned for that. Other than that, housekeeping, that's really about it. Seems like I think we got a manga chapter next week. I won't be on. I'm going to be out of town for the next couple of weeks, so I don't think I'll be on the podcast for basically the rest of November. So just tell the guys when you write in your piece togethers that you really appreciate how much you appreciate Steve, Josh, and Alex.
That's true.
Yeah,
let them know, because Zach, Ed, and Stephen Paul have been beating us. They've been very mean to us about. I don't know. I don't have a bit here.
Yeah, they do their own God Valley incident where they just make us run around.
Yeah,
and
we're Cinderella and they're the stepsisters. How about that?
they tore my dress. But Josh, where could the good people find you?
You can find me at any social media that normal people are on. That's user Amans, AMONNS. You can see all of my drawings and stuff there. Just because I have slightly more time here. If you want to hear more media criticism, if you weren't annoyed by me this episode, you might enjoy my other show, Swim Fans, where with my co-host Jennifer and Craig, we talk about genre film. We've had all stars of the show, like host Alex, Shannon Strucci, Joey Weiser. All of your favorites have been over on Steve once has been over on Swim Fans.
Yeah, long time ago. But I was on there.
So if you're interested in it's quite a different show from the One Piece podcast. It's film analysis, but like if you want to tune in, we have a good time. That's me.
Thanks. And Alex, where could the good people find you?
Splice this in. Alex, where can the good people find you? Find me on Blue Sky at !! Also, Super Art Fight has a Patreon now, superartfight.com. Look for it on Patreon. You can watch old shows starring me and other great art fighters. So yeah.
Okay, and I'm Steve Yurko on basically all social media, mostly on Blue Sky and Instagram. Follow me on there. Go to my website, steveyurko.com. Listen to me on ProCD Plays Games over on YouTube. Listen to 4Kids Flashback. Other podcasts I do with Tara Sands. I don't know why I emphasize on that.
You sounded like you had a secret when you said it like that.
It's like Tara, whose full name is but give that show a listen to, especially if you're curious about that bygone era of anime dubbing and just production overall. And for the podcast, please go to onepiecepodcast.com, listen to the podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts. We post our episodes on YouTube as well. Please support us on patreon.com if you choose. And we have multiple tiers, including the sticker club tier that I mentioned earlier. That is $12 a month. And you'll get a free sticker every month that you get to vote on as well. And what else can you do to support us? And of course, like if you ever want your questions, comments, theories heard, best thing to do if you're not a patron is write to us using the hashtag BlueSkyPia, or send us an email at onepiecepodcast@gmail.com. And don't call us at our phone number. Skype is dead. It's done. It's dead. I'm pretty sure it's dead. I don't think it's coming back.
Zach will not hear your future calls.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Skype did not have any children or descendants. It's not.
Skype D phone calls. Yeah.
It's done. As is this podcast. If there's nothing else left to say, my name is Steve.
And you can also splice this in. My name is Alex. There we go.
Go ahead, Josh. You're in this one.
And my name is Josh.
All right. And thanks for listening. We'll catch you next time.
Later. Bye-bye.